Okay.
And we are live.
Okay. Hello.
And we are live.
Welcome to Twin Cities Playtest. Okay.
What is
Hello.
And we are live.
Playtest. Lane.
Twin Cities Playtest is the event where I do not have the Twin Cities Playtest open in the background and hear Dale talk to me 3 times. So,
Cool.
folks, this is the Greater Midwest area's premier playtesting stream, where we reach out to people through all sorts of different Minnesota communities to skim the very most interesting games that are in development out there. And we pluck games from all sorts of different phases of development, some of which that are very early, and some of which are just about to be published. And you will see both of those if you stick around tonight. Mark, what is your favorite? Do you like games that are really early or way late? What do you think?
They each have a different quality. I think if I had to pick, I would say I like games that are a little rougher, because I think when we have developers on and we talk to them and the game is almost ready to go, all of our feedback is not that useful to them.
Yes. You and I both really enjoy when the snowball has just barely begun to run down the hill, and you can divert it just a little bit this way or that way and make a big difference down the road. It's very, very satisfying. But yes, we will see both the early stages and then also a very polished product later in the night. Now, we have our first guest with us already to show a game on Tabletop Simulator. Trevor, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you are with the development of this game?
Sure. So the game that I'm working on here is called Kung Fu Farming, and it all kind of spawned from the name that just I thought was hilarious, and I knew I just had to attach a game to it. So about 3 months ago, maybe early December, I started working on this game with the goal of getting it playable by Protospiel MN, which happens in January. And so got it mostly together, and after a weekend of playtesting at Protospiel MN, the game is kind of in the state you see it now. So pretty early in development. The core mechanics are kind of stabilized at this point, but there's no real art, and there's a lot of room for, I think, sort of mechanics refinement and figuring out what ideas need to be added to the game and what ideas need to be changed a little bit.
Did you find in like I've never had that fast of a turnaround. That just sounds amazing to me. That sounds like it's almost like game jam speed. When you took this to Protospiel, I mean, like how did it feel to take a game that I mean Protospiel is for like pretty early games, prototype games, but like how did it feel going there with something that was just like barely a month into development?
Oh, it was terrifying because I've only ever gone to Protospiel with games that I've put probably a year into. And so yeah, it was really scary. And the first playtest was an absolute disaster, as you would expect. But I don't know if I just got really lucky with the playtesters that I had, or if I was just in the groove that weekend, but it seemed like every playtest I got a very critical piece of feedback that helped shape the game into something better. Which is exactly why I go to Protospiel. And so, well, it was scary the first day. Sunday was great. I actually got a full game through, and the people who played it seemed to at least somewhat enjoy it. So that was a win for me.
And you were kind of like playing jazz with it while you were there.
Yeah.
Like you were adding and removing rules on the fly.
Oh yeah, like it was like somebody would do something, and I'd be like, all right, we're gonna change this for the rest of the game, and they're like, all right, if you say so. And then we'd get a little bit better, but definitely on the fly.
Yeah, as somebody who started out in like digital game development, like it is so addicting to just be able to tell people, let's try doing it this way, and that's like a month worth of feature development. It feels so good. All right.
So,
yeah, Dale, go ahead.
Who is playing this game right now, and what games are coming up, and how might some of our viewers join on later games?
Oh, wonderful questions, Dale. Wonderful questions. I don't know how you do it. So the people playing the game right now are your lovely hosts, Noble Robot being Mark, Six No Mayo being Dale, and Last Man Dancing being me. But it's not just the hosts that can play games. We have what's that, Dale?
What?
I know.
Color.
Shocking. Anybody could hop in. So if you feel like sending us a chat in the YouTube chat here, or if you want to message us on Discord, we're happy to tag anybody in to hop in for this game or the next few. After this, we're going to be rolling into some global game jam games from our community and from Amber Waves of Games, and then we will finish off with a game that has been in development all the way since Ludum Dare 48. So that's what's on the schedule.
Okay, which Ludum Dare are we on now?
We are just about to hit 50, Dale. We're about to hit 50. 50 is coming up in April.
Okay, so like 2 Ludum Dares.
That's right.
Pretty good. Okay, so are the next games just getting people thinking about what they might want to jump onto? Are they all in Tabletop Simulator, or are there some other equipments that might be needed?
Yeah, Mark can handle that one.
Yeah, so we're playing Tabletop Simulator now, so if you want to join in on that, send us a message and we'll get you the table name and password for that. But some of the later games are going to be using Parsec, so we'll be running them here on my machine. And then if you have Parsec, which is a piece of software, it's like a screen sharing desktop, remote desktop kind of deal designed for games, we can get you hooked right into any of the things that are coming up. Instructions for that are on the Discord in the events info channel. So you can check that out. And you can see on screen now a little bit.ly link, bit.ly/tzplaytest, all lowercase, that will take you there and give you those instructions. So you've got a little bit of time to figure it out if you want to jump in.
All right. Shall we get started?
No argument here.
All right. So, Trevor, what's your game called?
Yeah, so this is Kung Fu Farming.
All right.
And I think maybe what we'll do is have the three of you play, and I will just observe. And so I think the first thing we need to do in Tabletop Simulator is you all need to like rotate to a seat to your right, maybe. The players are kind of set up as white, orange, green, and purple.
Did we all pick the exact opposite things that we needed to be?
You sure did.
Cool.
It was really impressive to watch happen in real time.
Okay.
So Trevor, you are here in the room with us. Okay, cool.
I am in like the game master role, so I can just float above everyone.
Great.
All right.
All right. You fine with me just sort of starting with the explanation?
Yeah, lay on us.
All right. Yeah, so I don't have rules to share with everyone yet, so I'm just going to kind of go through the initial premise of the game, how it works, and then we'll kind of get everyone started as quick as I can. So in Kung Fu Farming, the objective of the game is to defeat the ultimate Kung Fruit. And this will happen at the end of 8 rounds. You will all work together to try and defeat this super powerful plant monster. I think for the playtest here, we're just going to do 4 rounds to kind of give you all a taste of the game. But that's how the game would normally play. During each round of the game, there are kind of 2 phases in which you will build a deck that will give you different Kung Fu moves to use. And then you will use that deck to fight against different plant monsters. Fighting these plant monsters are going to give you victory points and produce, basically pieces of vegetables that you can either eat to get stronger and heal yourself, or to exchange with some of the traders in town to get new moves to add to your Kung Fu deck. So the first thing that we're going to do is there are 3 levels of Kung Fu cards, and you are all going to start out with a deck of level 1 Kung Fu cards. So I'm going to split this level 1 deck here, and if everyone could just take a pile of those and set that in front of them, that'll be your Kung Fu deck.
And this isn't a hand that we look through.
No, it is a deck. Though you will start by drawing 4 of them to make up your hand. And like other deck builders, your hand will not be shuffled into your deck, or your discard won't be shuffled into your deck until something causes that to happen. So you kind of have to play with what you have between all the rounds until something causes your discard to get shuffled back into your deck. So now that you all have your decks, the easiest way I think to explain the game is to kind of go over how fighting something works, and then I'll kind of go over the different things you can do after you fight something. So every round, there is going to be one of these cards kind of at the point closest to Last Man Dancing, laid out that these are all of the different cards that make up the Ultimate Kung Fruit's sort of move set. And each round we're going to flip over one of them to give you an idea of what they're going to fight with. And so if you look at this card, you can see a few different things. And this is a Kung Fu card. There are sort of 4 segments or 4 areas of the card, and each of them has a rock, paper, scissors symbol. And then in the middle of the card, there is a flavorful name, we'll say, as well as a color and a number. The color just separates the cards into different groups, and the number tells you sort of what level the card is from 1 to 3. And this is kind of just sort of a teaser of what you're going to have to fight at the end of the game. And then each round, you will flip out a new plant card that you will all be fighting together. So there's a bunch of different plant cards. There's a bunch of level 2 ones and a bunch of level 3 ones. We start with fighting level 2 ones. And they have a few different pieces of information on them. They have a name. Eventually, they would have some sort of art. And then they have some setup and some abilities on them. And so for the setup, each plant has a number of resources basically on it. So it can have victory points and it can have produce. And these things do 2 things. One, they track the plant's HP. And 2, they will provide you options to gain rewards as you all fight this thing. So what's listed here is the amounts per player. So I'm just going to throw out a few cubes here. So we have 2, 3. And blue, we'll have 6. All right. So these are sort of the HP trackers and the rewards you can get from this thing.
Okay, so where are you getting the number of cubes that you're laying out?
That's under the harvest text on that plant card that I flipped up in kind of the middle of the table right now.
Oh, and the black ones are VPs?
Yep.
Perfect.
How come I'm not making sense of this? Because I'm just seeing 1 VP and 1 green produce.
Yeah, very good question. So the amounts on the cards are per player.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
so
multiplying
that's
by 3.
Yeah, that's great feedback. I had originally had per player on there, but it was just a lot of text, so I cut it out and then I didn't explain it. So that's probably why you're a little confused there.
But now that makes perfect sense, and I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, no, great question. So that's kind of the setup for the monster. Essentially, in this case, it has 12 HP, and then it's kind of made up of these different sort of pieces.
Gotcha.
And then how combat works is you will flip out one of these Kung Fu cards. And so you can see it's sort of the same as the one that we showed for the Ultimate Kung Fruit. It has those 4 sections. But in this case, since for a fight, you will have to sort of combat this with a card of your own. And how that works is all of us playing would sort of pick a card, and the objective of the game is to sort of win as many squares as you can. So you would set
this
them all
would be
in front of
a
you.
sizzling, awesome play, right?
That would be not good, not ideal, not ideal. But yeah, so you would all take a card that you think is going to win sort of the most quadrants against this thing, and you would set it face down in front of you, and then once everyone had picked a card, you'd flip it over.
And everybody has to, even if you don't have like a good winner, you still have to play a card here, right?
Yep, everyone is sort of fighting this thing together, and then we'll go through and essentially everyone will find out how they did. And this king piece here over by the noble robot designates the first player to kind of resolve this.
Okay.
And how it works is if your card beats the plant, you'll deal a damage, and you get to take a cube and add it to your little stockpile. If the card's square beats yours, you take a damage, and you will sort of discard one of these little white cubes next to your deck that is tracking your health, and you have 10 health to start with. And if they're the same, nothing happens, and you just kind of move on with your life.
Okay.
And
So
if in the case that you throw a hand and the opponent has a blank square or vice versa, does that mean the person who threw something won, or is that also nothing happens?
yes, anytime any symbol beats nothing.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
okay.
initially, you're going to get beat up a little bit by these things.
Nice.
But yeah, so you'll all reveal cards. You'll go around and see how you did, take your rewards. And then this king marker, which is kind of the first player marker, will get passed around the table. And you start over and keep doing that again until the monster's defeated.
So I'm a little clear on what is the first thing that happens. We all pick a card, and then we reveal it one at a time. And we have to pick it before anybody reveals theirs.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, but we don't
Yeah, so
reveal
everyone-
it until.
I got my
Okay.
card.
Yep. So once everyone has their card, then you say, "Yep, we're ready," and you all flip them over.
Okay.
All right. Woof.
Okay.
So it looks like we all played the same thing.
Sure looks
All
like it.
right.
Is there any the color coding here? Does that have any relevance at this point?
Sure. So if you have a little reference card next to your player, if you flip that over, that'll tell you a little bit about the different how to play rock paper scissors, but it'll also give you an indication of what symbols can be found on which cards. So like the colored line will show essentially like what symbols. So like blue can have paper and scissors, green can have scissors and rock,
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
so on and so forth.
Okay, so each of us scored 1 hit and 1 loss. Is that right?
Yeah, because you all played the exact same card.
Mhm.
Yep. So you go in sort of the order of whoever has the king first would pick their choice of rewards. So the blue and green and red are produce, and that'll be spent to either gain new cards from that river kind of in the middle of the table, or to cook food that will give you healing and additional benefits. And then the black cubes are victory points. They just make you win more at the end of the game.
Right, but presumably there's a strategy towards picking up the produce in hopefully to yield more victory points later on.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Well, knowing nothing about how that works, I am going to take a victory point.
Cool. And then these trackers on the side are the victory point trackers. So if you take a black cube, you can kind of just set it up near the Kung Fu deck and just increment your counter there.
We start at 5?
Yep.
Okay.
Are these cards that we can buy right now or buy at some point?
Yes.
Okay, and like this guy costs 2 blue.
So yeah, I was gonna explain that a little later, but yeah, I might as well explain it now. So how buying cards from the middle works is there are customer cards.
Yep.
That's this kind of I guess row closest to the noble robot, and those will tell you how much you have to pay to get the card below it.
Ooh, okay. Wow. I gotcha. Okay, so Sir Squawks wants a blue and a green, and he'll give me a blooming vine Kusagara. All right.
Yeah, and so that's how buying works. And then the food cards, I guess, might as well explain that as well. There are essentially you would discard that amount of produce, and then you would get that effect for 3 turns.
Ooh, okay.
With the exception of the tea and the rice card at the end here. I don't remember how you do the look here button, but the tea and the rice card, those are just fixed ways for you to spend produce to gain a one-time benefit.
Okay. Cool. Start a fight. Well, these guys give a lot of healing. Holy smokes. But I have my eye on that Kusarigama, so let's go for a green.
So real quick bits of feedback here. This card with the tea and rice, this is an action you could do at any time in place of, if you were to say in place of buying this piece of food. Is that it is not spent when you use it, right?
Correct. Yep.
So my suggestion then is that this information should probably just exist on a player reference card
Oh, okay. Good idea. Yeah.
as a possible action.
Yeah. Good
Then
call.
you may want to thematically remove it from the food deck in that way, depending on how the rest of these things interact. But just to make it clear to the player, they can buy food, buy from the shop here, or do the tea or rice.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And maybe it would make it a little clear to put it over here.
Yeah, for now, sure. That's good.
Okay, I am going to take a blue cube, and then
Daring.
so we all got hit. So are we getting rid of one of our white?
I think that we are.
I forgot to do
Cubes.
that.
Yep. So I just kind of would create 2 piles near you, since
Okay.
you will heal at some point, presumably during the game.
Ooh, is 10 our like maximum HP?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All
That's
right.
convenient to track. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, that's the first round of combat. And then you would pass the noble robot. You'd pass that king thing clockwise, and reveal a new card from the plant's kung fu deck, and do it all again.
Okay.
Okay.
And then this continues until the plant is run out of cubes. At which point you will gain some cards, and I'll explain how that works. And then you will get to go and buy cards and food.
Okay. So we're not like drawing back up to 4. We're just.
You will, yes. Yep, you draw back up to 4.
So I'm gonna take a card.
Fantastic. Ooh, okay. So looking at this guy's passive abilities, should I care about either of these 2 things on the bottom? Are those active right now?
Yes, so it didn't apply to the first card, since what you all played. But he does have, this Mushroom Menace does have 2 effects. So the first thing is, each time you reveal a card, you'll discard the first non-blue card. And then the second effect is that blue moves, so any card that's blue, scores 1 hit when it ties with paper. So with this new card you revealed, the Blooming Axe Claw, if you were to play a paper in the bottom left, you would still get hit for 1.
Oh, okay. So it still hits us. When I first read that, I thought I, as a player, could hit it if I played a paper, but that's not the case. Okay.
Gotcha. I can change the wording on that to be a little bit less ambiguous.
Ooh, cool. All right. I got my card.
Okay, hold on.
Let's see.
I got my card.
And I've got mine.
Hold on, and think. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Cool.
Okay, flipping.
What is the reason why we don't reveal these cards one at a time?
That was some playtesting feedback that some players felt like it would affect your decision if you saw what other players picked. So we had tried hiding them before they were revealed, and at least that play group seemed to like that better. So that's kind of why it is the way it is.
So
Agreed.
why do you not want to let players have that information?
So what happened in that particular game that I think spurred that discussion was a particular player chose a good card that was going to deal 3 damage to the plant, and they were going to finish it off. So they were going to take the last 3 cubes that the plant had, and the fight would sort of be over. So the person after them was like, well, if I know that, now I'm just going to play a junk card, since I know it's not going to do me any good.
Right.
Whereas if you didn't have that information, you would sort of have to judge, do you think they're going to do 3 damage? Do you think they're going to do 2 damage? You might get something out of it.
Yeah. I would argue that having that information is interesting, because then I can decide, because like you say, I can decide, oh, what card should I throw away? Or if I'm trying to get the most cubes, or I'm trying to save a good card, then if I go, the turn order cycles, so you kind of always have an opportunity to do a blind hit where you're the first one to go, and then the person who goes last has more information with which to make their choice. That feels interesting to me. I don't know how much it breaks other parts of the game, but it seems unique, because it seems like there'd be no scenario which that would not lead to a more a more interesting choice for the player.
Depends on like what the players want out of the game. Like I feel like there's a certain amount of like predicting or like rewarding people remembering what their opponents did that could be interesting as well.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
All
So
right.
Lane.
I'm getting beat up here, folks. I'm doing 1 damage with this, but then I am going to lose twice because correct me if I'm wrong, Trevor, but it is if it ties me because it has a blue. I will
Correct.
take 1 damage due to its ability here. It's not if I'm blue. Okay, cool. All right, so I will take 2 hits. Ouch. And then I will grab my beautiful blue cube there. All right, I'm done.
Okay. And I do essentially the same.
Oh, yeah.
I had 2 hits, and
Sure.
then I am going to take a green cube, and I get hit twice. Boom.
I have same as last time, 1 hit and 1 hitted, I guess.
Ooh.
And I didn't fall suffer to the blue thing. Although the fact that you both played that makes me feel like there was a strategy involved. I will take, I guess, a green one.
It's the most limited one. Yeah, prevent us from having options. I love it.
I mean, I don't know. There's something just like a standard gameplay strategy about getting the last thing of a,
Yes.
but I don't actually know why I would want to make that choice. Yes, because I don't know enough about the economy of the game.
Well, because Mrs. Reindeer and Senor Squawks both want that produce.
That's true.
Green is at a premium. Trevor, may I purchase this bad boy right now, or do I need to wait?
You need to wait until the plant has been defeated.
No! My strategy. Okay. Well, here we go. Dale, I believe you have the king piece.
Okay. I now have the king piece. Thanks for not putting it on my cubes. Okay, so then we flip the next card. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so many fists there.
Oh, and it's not blue, so we want to keep going, I believe. All right. There we go. A lot of fists.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we got that, which also has a bunch of fists, huh?
All right. Nice.
Okay.
Power to the people. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to flip this over.
Very cagey.
Okay. Oops, too far. Okay, I'm ready. Mark, you're ready?
All right, let's go.
Yes.
Okay. Oops, I did not flip it successfully. So I get 1 hit, or I score 1 hit, and he hits me 1. So I'm going to take a blue cube, and then I'm going to get rid of a white cube.
Oh, I forgot to do that again last round.
Ouchers.
Okay, so I get 2 hits and 1 loss. So I'll take another loss there. And I will, I guess I'll just take these 2 victory points.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
So,
Okay, so
I'll use this. I'll take these worthless blues. Ugh. Okay.
One quick thing about this, because we are choosing what to take in sequence. So what if we laid our cards face down, and then instead of revealing them all at once, like Dale went first, so she reveals hers first, takes the whatever bounty she's owed, then I reveal mine. Wouldn't change the rules at all, just the presentation.
Yeah, I think that's totally a reasonable thing to do.
It might make things move a little faster too, because there's slightly less coordination required in turn sequencing. Yeah,
I like that because then you like look at what the person has and then you look at what they're gonna take, and yeah, it makes the eye is guided nicely around the board. I like that. Yeah.
And there's a little bit of that mystery which you want to preserve. That I was so much against earlier. I think you heighten that a little bit if you draw it out, I think.
Now speaking of mystery, I wonder what's going to happen. Now, actually, Trevor, like Mark, I feel like I have a strong prediction. Maybe I'm psychic, but I think Mark might be killing this. Does anything happen midway around the table, or do we just like continue playing our cards as normal?
Yeah. So the way the game's set up right now, you continue to play your cards as normal. At this point in the game, since all of your cards are the same sort of level, there's not as interesting of a choice of what to sort of like get rid of in your position. But later in the game, it does matter a little bit more.
Okay, so we're mainly like Dale and I are mainly just like sort of cycling cards at this point. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Unless
this is where you're choosing to throw something away, unless you don't think I can score a hit.
Gotcha. But like what I'm asking mainly is, am I anticipating another plant popping up mid-round here for me to
Nope.
beat a fight? Okay.
Nope. Once it's done, you will gain some cards from that plant's deck, and then you will go to sort of the shopping phase.
All right. Cool.
Okay. So, Mark, you got your card. I have my card out. Last Man Dancing has his card out.
Oh, we sure do.
All right. Okay. I will reveal mine. And I had kind of a rough hand, so I end up... oh, it's still 1-1 here, right? Yeah.
You will take 2 because of its ability.
Because that's with... on ties with paper. Oh, right. This is paper, not rock.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. They look so similar. Okay. Cool. All right. So I hit 1 and I lose 2. That was still my best play. So
I was gonna save this piece of feedback till the end, but Mark just touched on something I was gonna say, which is like I know that you're like in prototyping and there's a lot of like visual stuff left to do, but I would love it if there was some element on these guys that was like red, blue, green or something for the different hands. Maybe not red, blue, green because I know you've got another color thing going on, but just some sort of like color thing going on with the hands.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, like a background, like a POW.
Like here you have this sort of like cyan, green, red thing going on. So maybe something along those lines. I don't know. Anyway, so here I've got a question. I, like an idiot, forgot that paper loses to or beats rock. So I am gonna take 3 damage here, even though this guy's already dead, or am I scot free?
Nope, you're scot free. So as soon as the last cube is removed, the fight ends.
Freedom. Okay, cool.
And we move on to the sort of the, I guess, growth phase.
The growth phase. I like
the growth phase. I don't know.
Go on, brand.
So how it works is we will take all the cards that have been discarded so far, and in a 3-player game. What was that?
These cards? Our cards? Or
no, the cards that the plant has used.
The plant cards. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll take these sort of 5 cards. And for a 3-player game, we need 6, 7, 8. We need 8 total cards, so we will flip out a few more here. All right. We will. It's a little hard on Tabletop Simulator, just because not as much real estate as I would like. We will flip out these 4 cards. And then we will go around the table, and starting with the sort of next person in the card playing order, I guess, which would be you, Last Man Dancing.
Oh man, did I ever choose the right seat?
Okay. You get to take one of these 4 cards and add it to your discard.
Holy smokes!
And then we'll go around the table and do that twice.
I don't know who the next enemy is going to be, right? So I have no like real context. These all look pretty good to me.
Yeah. So you can kind of try and base it on, what you have in your deck currently that you've seen. You could try and base it on what the Ultimate Kung Fruit is using, which is a red card with that.
That's cool.
There's a couple different small data points that you'd have right now to pick from.
This is a cool mechanic right here. Okay, none of these are like super dominant against the Ultimate Kung Fruit though. This is an okay card. Okay. How does the beating the Kung Fruit mechanic work?
So how it would work is that after the 8th round, you would sort of fight the Ultimate Kung Fruit as another normal plant. Except with the caveat that you play through all 8 of its cards and are awarded victory points for every hit instead of produce.
It's so raid bossy. Do we get to look at these cards at any point?
Yes, every round one will be revealed.
Whoa, okay, that is slick. I really like that mechanic. That's fun. Okay, well I guess I'm gonna take this bunny ear card, and and when I gain a card, I like permanently remove a card, right? And I can do that from any pile.
Yep, from your discard, hand, or deck. And then after you take that, you would flip out the next one. And then you can pick from these 4 now. Options would be nice. You. I can't remember your name. Purple.
Do we have like a designated trash pile someplace, or should I just?
That's what those bags are. If you just want to toss things into those bags,
Nice.
that would.
Okay.
Real quick,
Dale,
before you choose, can you kind of sped through the why you added 3 extra cards to the plant's discard pile? Was that 1 card for each of us? Or...
Yeah. So there you want a total of 8 cards in this sort of in this sort of options for options. Since there are 6 players, I wanted there to be 4 cards from each person to choose from.
I see.
So yeah, as you kind of go around the table, you'll eventually get down to the last set of cards, and there will be 4 for the last player to pick from.
Wouldn't it be interesting that the faster you kill an enemy, the fewer options you have to take from?
Oh yeah, that could be interesting.
I mean, my main concern actually is just the fiddliness of it. Less about the mechanic exactly, but just like adding just numbers for numbers' sake is kind of what it seems like. It may not be so interesting to have what I was describing earlier, but that would be a good excuse to not add that fiddly bit.
Yeah, okay, I think that's good feedback. The reason it is the way it is right now is simply for balance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm taking this card and I'm throwing away this card.
Okay, and then I'm
putting.
Yeah, that. All right. So then I will pick a card now. What should I pick? They all seem not great. But I guess I'll just, rather than try to target the Kung Fruit one, I'll just pick one that has a variety so that it's helpful later, perhaps. So I'll take this guy.
Oops.
And I should have said that the cards you gain go to your discard pile.
Okay.
Oh, do that. Okay.
Done. Okay. Lane.
Yep. Okay. I think that this guy, I don't like telling people to stop, so I'll take this card.
Okay. I'm going to take this card.
Oh, yeah, and I'm removing cards from my deck because that way I get to access the cool cards faster.
You took 2 of the cards there.
I tried really hard. Right. Okay. I'm going to spread them out, and then I'm going to take this one. This one looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That looks pretty sweet.
So either I did my math wrong or somebody accidentally took 2 cards, but there should have been 4 at the end.
We should have a total of 12 cards amongst our hand, deck, and discard pile, right?
Correct.
So you know who you are, whoever it is. Do I have to take one of these? Okay, yeah, I will.
So that would be the end of it right there. Once the Noble Robot took their second card.
Oh, so we all take 2. Okay, got it.
Yep, so everyone takes 2, and then the rest of these are just, I guess, returned to the plant pile over here.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
I did not take the extra card. I put mine back. Okay.
I think the Noble Robot, you might have the extra card.
I have 6 cards in my discard pile.
And you have 5 in your deck and 3 in your hand.
Yes, so you have 2 extra.
I have 2 extra.
Sorry. So that was one of the things that, the Lance Band Dancing said, or Lane said, is that every time you gain a card, you will then remove a card from your hand, deck, or discard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tucked away right here, Mark.
Yep, sorry.
Okay.
They said that, and then I forgot to sort of reinforce that there.
Yeah.
I tried to do that many times.
If you want to move that bag a little out, you can.
It's locked. I can't move it.
Oh, you
Trevor,
can't.
as soon as I started doing that for my game, I was like, why don't more people do this? Because you just like develop your deck so much faster doing it that way. It's so satisfying. I love doing it.
Okay.
Cool. And then you would drop to 4 from your deck, and then we would move into the downtime phase. And so how this phase works is you can now purchase items from these traders, or you can choose to eat food or eat sort of the rice or tea by spending your produce.
What does refreshing a card mean?
So refreshing a card means taking a card from your discard and adding it back to your library.
Whoa, hold on. If like, is this like other deck builders where like when you deplete your library, you take your discard pile and put it back into your deck?
Yes. So in this game, when you run out of cards in your library, what will happen is you will be defenseless for one turn. You will get hit by whatever the plant is attacking with, and then you will get to do as you said.
Rough stuff. Okay.
The other mechanic that ties into that is that whenever you die, if you ever run out of HP, you immediately lose 1 victory point and will be restored to 5 HP.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so that's how those two things work. And then just one other note on food is multiple people can eat the same food. And how it works is if you choose to eat a food, you would sort of set that food card aside. And you would take your little colored meeple that you have next to your player reference card and set it on it along with the produce that the meal costs. And those would sort of track the 3 rounds that food lasts for.
Okay.
So the reason you remove it from the line is because it stays in play but is no longer on offer?
Yes. Everyone can eat the same food during the same round, but after that round, it is no longer available.
Oh, then I don't think... Then you can just leave it there. We just put our meeple on it while it's in the row, right?
But the...
Do we get more recipes each?
Yes. Every time a food is cooked, a new recipe would be revealed.
Okay. Gotcha.
But you could lock it down, I suppose, until it's expired.
Well, I was just assuming that once all 3 of us pick a thing to do, whatever of these has been eaten will leave the row then. Right?
Yes, except that you retain that effect for 3 rounds. So it needs to go somewhere so you can kind of keep track of how many rounds you have it for.
Oh, okay. And so why is it that multiple players can eat the same food? Because I feel like it would be a little easier to manage if I could bring that card into my area.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I guess the reason for it initially was so that there wasn't a kind of conflict. So you didn't have to have some way to break ties. But actually, since I've added a way to break ties, maybe that's not as important. And I could just have more food variety.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it just mattered. Like, you'd miss out on something depending on the sequence of purchase, I guess.
That would add a cool like little worker placement like turn order thing if it were that way. That'd be nice.
I'm just on the lookout for anything that seems complicated and doesn't add as much as I think it might. Now, this is a case where it seems that in order to preserve or in order to prevent that kind of conflict, you're sort of adding 3 complications. So I don't know that it's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's really good feedback.
But we should just play as designed now. I don't want to change the rules as we go.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Who goes shopping or making food first?
Sure. So how that works is everyone can eat at the same time since there's no conflicts right now.
Right.
So you can just discard or choose whatever you'd like. And then as far as shopping goes, the system I have right now is each card is purchased in order. And if multiple players want it, you have to play rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to buy it.
That's cute.
Oh.
So on brand. All right, cool.
Okay.
Well, I am going to pay one of my produce to refresh my cards because that's my entire discard, and that will help me next round. So do I put them in and then shuffle my deck? Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So I would like to trade with another farmer my produce. And I would like to buy this paper card.
Yep. And of course, I would also like to buy that paper card. So I have a dispute with you.
All right. Let's resolve it in a peaceful way with rock, paper, scissors.
Fantastic.
And in person, it works a little easier because you're just at the table. I actually didn't think of how we would do this on Tabletop.
Can we do this with the upper right sign in a card in your hand?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You have to. Okay, you do that. I'm gonna pick the low. Wait. Oh, that's fine. Whatever.
All right. Wait.
Just pick what you're doing and then place it face down and say what quadrant it is.
Let's go. Upper right.
Upper right.
Yes.
I picked paper. Okay, you got it. Okay. I'm taking my produce back.
Okay. Spending my produce.
Okay.
Wait, I think I've got one of Mark's produce over here as well. I'm going to spend mine, and I'll take this bad boy.
Okay, and then instead of doing that, I'm going to trade with the less picky but more expensive Mr. Angora. And get that.
That's awesome.
Do I need to discard a card to replace this with?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna discard this one. Goodbye.
And can you do more than? Can you purchase more than one thing during this round, or just one?
Yes. I was gonna.
Okay.
I have it so right now the cards refresh as you buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Then at the end of the round, the traders would cycle out for the cards that have been purchased as well.
Mm-hmm.
I got that. Neat.
Okay.
Oh, what did you say happens when you lose all your HP?
You lose 1 victory point, and you return 5 HP.
But what if I'm at 0?
Okay, so we don't.
That's why you start with 5.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide whether to pay for the my last produce to gain my 5 hit points back. I don't know how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just throw caution to the wind and not do it for now.
I'm sure it'll be just fine.
Wow.
Okay. Because I refreshed all those cards, I'm slightly more powerful, and I don't think the next plant will be much more powerful. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. All of the plants are the similar levels of power.
Okay.
For the first 4 rounds, and then you move on to the stronger plants. But given the time right now, we'll probably only play through maybe another round or 2.
Sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
Do I draw back up to 4?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you should always have 4 cards in your hand.
Okay, awesome. All right. Okay. So because Lane went mushroom shopping first, does he go first this round, or does that move to me and I go first?
It's whoever did the first attack. It would have moved from that person. I think that was
the
noble.
It was me, yeah.
Right. Okay, so Lane, you go next.
Okay, do we flip over another plant?
Yep.
We're fighting against the Swiss Charizard. No, Charizard. Flavorful names indeed. Oh man, we have so much green. And do we have new customers as well? Should I cycle those through?
Yes.
All right, I'm just gonna pretend I know what I'm doing. There we go.
Normally you would draw out and then whatever, but that's fine.
Okay. Oh, Professor Potamus. Excellent. Okay. Oh shoot, red is so valuable right now. Good thing there's ample access.
There's so many red.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh. Cool beans. Did anybody pay for one of these food, fellas?
Don't think so.
No? Okay. Well, I got my card.
Did you flip out a new Kung Fu card?
Yeah, I feel like these are the remainders from the last.
Oh, okay. Yep. Oopsie. Yeah, let's go ahead and wha-bam. Okay, sorry for the trouble there.
All right. Yeah. The Swiss Charizard says discard the first non-green card each turn, and green moves score 2 hits with unblocked scissors.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that's a yikes.
So this is a blue card, so you don't need to necessarily worry about that, but green will be dangerous.
Oh, I will worry. Dang.
Okay. I've got a card.
Ooh. Oh.
Okay, I got a card too.
Okay.
Okay, Lane, go first.
Yep. All right. I got double fist, so I'm going to take 2 hits and I'm going to deal 1. I will grab, I guess don't matter much. I will take one of these. Now I will lose 2 HP.
All right. I have this. The same thing. I want a green one.
Oh.
And I will lose 2 HP.
All right. I will do this guy, which means I get 2 hits, and I get hit also. So I will take, I guess, one of these and a victory point.
Yup. If this is the last round, that victory point strategy is looking pretty good.
I mean, I should be taking more, but I'm trying to play somewhat balanced. Independent of the facts on the ground.
Neat. All right, over to Dale, and our
Okay.
Kung Fu move is going to be this.
Ooh.
Oh, should we reveal the next one of these, by the way?
Oh, yes, you should. Yep.
Oh, ooh, okay. Wow, a lot of papers.
So a lot of our early cards only had have weapons in the lower left and top right, and because we get two, well, I think we're all going to get hit twice with scissors, right?
I think so.
Yep, unless you happen to have one of your stronger cards.
Well, it's basically impossible to have them by now, even with my refreshing.
That's fair. That is fair.
Okay, so I got 2 things, so I'm gonna take 2. I'm gonna take these 2.
How dare you, Dale?
And then I get hit twice, so goodbye hit points. Thanks so much for sticking around. Okay.
All right. I did in fact draw one of my other cards, but it doesn't get me much. It prevents the worst of it. But I get hit 1 and don't.
So what you're saying is not impossible at all, and you did it. Okay, cool.
Wait, don't you hit him 1?
Oh, that's right.
Your rock still beats his. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I was thinking only that it prevented the bad stuff, but actually, right. Correct. Thank you.
It's a 3 victory point swing. That's amazing. Or whatever swing. All right. Similar to Dale, tying this guy up with bureaucracy. I'll take these folks.
Okay.
And I'll lose 2.
All right. New attack. There we go.
Funky fresh. Oh wait, it's non-green. We gotta flip another one. Oops.
Each turn, right? Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay.
Ooh.
Make sure you're drawing up to 4.
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay, I got my card out.
Oh. What happens first? Us dealing damage or us taking hits? Or do those happen at the same time?
Same time. So you can kill it and die in the same turn.
Bum skis.
Okay.
All right.
I'll flip mine. And I got 2 hits, and I'm hit once.
Oh, look at you.
Is that right? Yeah.
Oh, I should have played the safe way. Darn. Okay.
But I am really running out of hit points now. It seems like these first 2 rounds were all destined to most of the time, vast majority of the time, lose at least 1 hit point every turn.
Yeah.
Until we can get our like even I've got my discards a little earlier than you guys, but I'm only barely being spared the 1. So basically we're all going to be really low on health, kind of no matter what, at the end of the second round, just statistically, right?
Yep. All right. Lane, you went.
Yep.
And we're done. And so then we just get to look at Dale's card.
Ooh. And what a card it is.
Thank you, I think.
It would have killed you. Right?
No, because then I just trade in one of my victory points for some hit points.
Oh, sure.
So there's no dying, at least for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean kill you, but you suffer the consequence of death.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So
we got some stuff to deal out here. I forget, how many cards do we deal out for?
It is 2 for each player plus 2.
Okay.
So it should be 8 total.
And it's from this Kung Fu deck?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll just grab 1 and throw it on top of the discard. Oh, that works.
Right.
Oops.
Because there's already 7 in there. So.
Oh, was I supposed to grab the discard pile? Is that the way?
Yeah, that was the idea.
Uh-oh.
So here,
not that
I'll
one.
take these and put them back in here.
Oh, look at that.
And
Beautiful.
then, well, that was the first one you drew, so.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's put that one there. Cool.
And then right? Am I doing this right? And then you just draw them directly off of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. And so I ended up
So-
with the king token, so then I go first now? Or do I pass it again?
It is who... No, you keep the... If you... Did you have it for the beginning of this fight?
No, but for the beginning of the last round, I did. That's
Okay,
how
then, yeah.
Lane. That's how Lane got it in the last refresh, I think.
Yeah, so then you would pass it, but the card draw starts with the first person who didn't deal any damage to the plant.
Yay!
Oh,
It's
okay.
Dale. Dale's taking this one. Dale's throwing away this one.
All right. So because she drew from here, that's revealed. So I will go next. I have this impression that a good strategy is to have a variety of things, but I don't even know if that's true. Just instinctually, I feel that way. So like this 3 scissors, I feel like is it, but then it might be the best choice. I don't know.
I mean, look at this though. Holy smokes, that's like doing 3 damage.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I should take it for that reason. Right, the information you get is solely up here. It's less about the ones you've seen so far, which is what I'm trying to base my decision on, but that's not what I should be doing. So, okay, take that one.
Well, meanwhile, I'll go for the balanced one. Let's see. Yeah, actually, this guy does look pretty good. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm light on hands.
Dale, you can draw your second one now.
Okay. I'm gonna take this one. Super Bunch.
All right, I'm going to take this one.
Amazing. Wait, there's just these 3 cards left? Wow. You folks are fast.
And then
Let's
those
see,
go
what
back together, right? And then...
I need one more. I'll take this.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Rude. Okay. Nice.
Now to the shop, right?
Yep. And we are right a little over 45 minutes now. So if you want to just transition into talking about the game, I'm totally fine for that.
Lane, you're the keeper of the clock, and I know we have some buffer room in the middle of the show, so we can stick around for a little while longer, I think.
I mean, the thing is with deck builders. I mean, we built in like some buffer room for a reason. Weren't sure how long this would last, and I'm totally down to keep doing this until 8:15 when our next presenter comes. Like, I want to see how the deck development works in this.
Yeah.
So
all right.
I would say, why don't we play until like 8-ish, and then save some conversational room for that point.
Works for
Okay,
me.
awesome. So I no longer have any draw cards, so I'm gonna flip my deck and shuffle it, and then draw up to 4. Randomize.
Oh, and since we're out of combat, you don't get stunned right now for doing that, right?
What?
That's a good point.
That makes it really good for end of your deck to line up with shop time.
Yeah, I don't like forcing the player to have to choose to drink tea.
Wait, what?
But so normally how the game works is you don't get to shuffle your discard into your deck unless something tells you to do that. So just because you ran out of cards, normally that happens during combat, and you'll get punched in the face for that. So maybe what I'll do instead is I'll get rid of the get hit in the face mechanic, and we'll just say that, yeah, when you run out of cards in your deck, you just reshuffle.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good.
But then there's... Yeah. Anyway, there's other problems with that, but that's okay.
Okay, so then we move the king over to Lane, and Lane goes first this round?
Is everyone done buying things?
I'm done.
Oh, I need to help myself to this crystal vine kunai. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna. Okay. So these guys aren't going to be present in the next shop. So red is going to go way down in value, and blue is going to go down slightly in value. Okay, so I want to spend my blues and hold on to these greens. At least maybe I'll hold on to one of each. That seems sensible. And Professor Potamus will help me to this crystal vine. And Dale, if you want to do any shoving.
Okay. I am done.
Wow. Speedy.
But yeah. I'm just gonna keep my hit points there. Yeah. I like to go.
So I did one rice and one tea, so I could get my hit points back up and also get my discards back in the thing. But I'm not going to buy anything else.
Ooh, well, FYI, what has just been dropped on us is that you can reshuffle at the bottom of your deck without buying the tea. So if I don't know if that changes your move, Mark, because this lets you shuffle good stuff back in earlier, so maybe it's still a good move.
Right. My deck still has 5 cards in it, so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I wanted to get it in there right away. I don't know why.
Maybe that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh wait, take it back. I'm looking at this thing. I'm going to
use the tea
buy
as well.
rice.
I feel like I'm really motivated to do it every time because it feels like the thing that makes the game balanced is that you, in a sense, or one of the balancing mechanics is that you don't get your discards right away. So I feel like getting your discards right away, I mean, it certainly helped me a lot last round.
Yeah.
In the sense that I had 2 3-handed cards, which doesn't seem like much, but it's really valuable in round 2. Right?
I would say that for me, like 6 is probably an awkward number because 6 is always going to be more than half of the cards in your discard pile. I would say maybe up to 6 because then you could pull in just the primo cards back. That would be my inclination.
Anyway. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow, yeah, because I've always had to whenever I have teed, whenever I've sipped the tea, I've always had to bring in terrible cards as well. Okay. Anyhow, are you folks all done buying? I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does that mean that Dale hits first here?
No,
I think it was just
you do.
I just
Lane.
moved it to you.
Oh, okay. I think I hit first last time, but I am a-okay with that.
Ooh. Or you did, but that's okay.
Okay. I'm glad it meets your approval. Hold on. We have to see what this is. Oh, getting tricky. The Divine Splitting Stone Blade. Flavorful indeed. All right. It seems less food related than some of the other ones. Anyway, moving on. Our plant that we're playing as is the Snowstorm Peas. That's a great name. Okay.
Right.
Wow, another blue and green one. Jeez Louise.
Similar abilities, just a different color this time.
Sure, looks like it. Oh, by the way, let us know, like Trevor, should we be migrating to this deck, or is this like for the latter half of the game?
Yeah, so the game's split into sort of 2 halves. The first 4 rounds and the last 4 rounds, which is when you would move over to the stronger cards.
Oh man, that is pretty neat.
And then I guess these.
Well, I can't control C, control B, so I need you to make me another blue boy for over here.
Apologies.
Yeah, I was shocked at your gall and temerity right there. All right. Blue move scored 2 hits with unblocked paper. My goodness. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it's the same thing as last time. Cool. All right, so I guess we're all up here. All right.
Yep, I got my card ready.
Oh, did we need to flip? I think we did need to flip a Kung Fu.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, if only I had. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to. Oh, wait. Yeah, all right, cool. Y'all ready?
I am, yes.
Amazing. Dale?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, fabulous. All right, so I got the nuts here. I'm gonna. Ooh, Tipper loves the blue. But Dr. Hawkins. Okay, I think I've gotta go for like one of these. Too good. All right, Dale, your turn.
Okay, and I am matching him, so nothing happened.
And I took a hit and delivered a hit. So I will take a victory point and lose a hit.
Don't think you do.
No?
You played Scissors Rock, right?
Oh yeah, I just had that backwards. All right, I lose 2 hits then.
All right, Dale.
Okay, so we're flipping a card. Oops, nope.
Correct.
We're not flipping a card.
They call her Clicks Too Long Dale. Ooh.
Is that what people call me behind my back?
And since that's not a blue card, you need to flip one more.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Good point, good point.
I clicked too long.
I had the perfect card. Oh, Clicks Too Long Dale. Add it again.
Yo, okay. So I want to go with... I have my card. Does everybody have their cards? Mark, did you draw back up to 4?
I did not.
Dang it. Oh, man. This kind of... Well, okay. I can't complain because my last round was literally perfect, so here we go.
All right. I got a card.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, then I got this. So whatever. I got
score 2.
2. Yep. Let's take this. I'm gonna take this.
Mm-hmm. All right. I similarly got 2. So I'm going to take 2 victory points.
Fabulous. I've got I'm taking 1 hit, and then I am dishing 1 out. I guess I'll grab. Ooh, is it time to pivot? I don't think so. I think I need this. Okay.
All right.
Moving over to Mark's turn.
Next attack. This is not blue, so we do the next one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Maybe we forgot to do that on the first one. Okay. Unblocked paper, so possible 4 hits if we're... Actually, probably not, but still. Dangerous stuff. And I go first, right? Okay. All right, I got a card.
Okay, one sec. I kind of do enjoy this sort of card selection process. Oh, okay. It's painful though. Sometimes. There we go.
Okay, and I will be picking this one. Okay.
All right. I'll flip mine first.
Yes.
So purely defensive. Nothing happens.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
All right. I am playing the Crystal Blue Kunai, or Crystal Vine Kunai. So here we go. I'm going to hit him 1 time. And then, because my opponent has 5 or less HP after this move, I count 3, I will score 1 additional hit. So I'll take this VP.
Nice.
Thank you, Dale.
And I got this, which is I take 3 hits and score nothing. Yeah?
Unfortunately, yeah. It looks like it.
I had a bunch of crappy cards.
No, I think you only take 2 hits.
2.
Or is unblocked is different than... What is that? It's different from blank, right? Or is it different from blank?
Unblocked is if they hit you, is how I have it right now.
Okay.
Okay.
So then Dale
took
does
3
then. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
So if you take any
Next
hits, on the card it says if you take any hits, gain 1 hit point.
Oh, I get a hit point back.
Presumably that's a one hit point total, not 1 hit point per hit you got.
Correct.
Yeah, I get 1 back. All right. Lane goes first next. I'm moving the thing to him.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Okay, and this guy wants blue, so we're going to pull. Oh, not blue. Okay, here we go. That is the final. Oh. Oh, man. Dude, okay. Great. I got it. Ooh, I'm so feeling what Mark was saying because I do think that this would go a little bit faster, which is really nice if people could just play at any time. But then it would give Mark and Dale more information, and there could be some analysis paralysis. So yeah, it's a tough call. how you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I know
Right.
I'm going last, so and there's 2 left, so I'm kind of assuming that I might not.
Probably don't matter too much. Yeah.
But then,
All right, so
it's possible to get nothing, so could make it to me.
I'm taking a hit. Ouch. And I'm scooping up 2.
Okay.
Okay, and then he's dead. I'm flipping this card over.
And I'm flipping mine, which wouldn't have been great, wouldn't have been too terrible, but now nothing happens.
All right. Now it's time to shop.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is great. I sort of feel like my strongest feeling on this game right now is that I would like it if it were like 2 or 3 guys in Act 2 and then 3 guys in Act 1 and then 3 guys in Act 2. Like right now I feel like I'm liking the development that my deck is undergoing, but I feel like the game just takes a little too long. I'd love like a little faster development and then faster leveling up to fight bigger plants.
Okay, I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
And discard this one.
Oh, should we have a few more cardy poos here? There we go.
Yeah, I think you should have just one less than that deck.
Oh, oops. There we go.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to buy this one, unless anybody else wants it.
You gotta do the growing first before you do the buying.
We turned that NP into compost.
Yes.
Now you get to get that.
Is it my turn to grab one? Or?
I think it is.
Okay.
Wait, Mark, did you grab one already?
I haven't yet. No, because I forgot about this part.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I guess I will take this one.
Oh, you got to watch out there,
yeah.
Buckaroo. I love these picks with the like growing context of the final fight. That's such a nice mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and now I can't quite. Oh wait, hold on. This should be pretty good. I'll take that.
Okay, my turn. I want this one that's full of high fives.
High fives all around. All right.
Yeah.
So true.
And to trade for it.
All right, and I will pick.
I guess you should have one more option here. There you
go. Okay, great.
Oh, I pulled it from here. I guess this didn't get pulled before.
my apologies.
We might have one extra in this pile, but that's fine. We just
I think.
Mm-hmm. I'll leave you with 2 options. Okay.
I'll take that, I guess.
Okie doke.
Oh, have you not gotten your second card yet?
Who are you asking?
Oh, yeah. I am just about to pick my second card. Oh, thank you so much. Ooh. Oh, gross. Yuck. Okay. Ooh. Off of that, I'm taking this guy. This guy looks great. Okay, and get rid of 2 fists. Disgusting.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the discarding thing too again.
Oh, and do these Kung Fu cards in this deck, do those have 4?
Yes.
Mind if I look at one here? Oh, that's going to be satisfying. That's going to be great. Okay, cool. Does this deck also have like bigger effects? Oh, yes, it does. Okay, great.
Yeah, so the shop gets stronger also after that 4th round. I will say the game does play a little bit faster in person. Tabletop Simulator just slows things down a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, I buy that.
Excuse me.
Okay. Who's purchasing first? Is that me? Is that moi?
So everyone can do food at the same time, and then as far as purchasing goes, it's just anyone can say I want this, and then people can fight over it.
Okay.
I want this one.
That
cool?
Ooh, that's actually pretty sweet. Yeah, being able to heal yourself. But yeah, go ahead. I would say.
Okay.
I just feel like no need to fight over these because I'll get the next one and it's probably good too. Oh, okay. Yeah, it seems fine. Okay, I will pay this for this.
And I will also pay to refresh my cards again. So I have 7 in my discard. I can refresh up to 6. How do I do I just pick the ones I want to refresh, or do I have to do them in order?
Yeah, right
or?
now I have it, so you can do whatever 6 you want.
Okay. Okay.
And 2 green for a soaring leaf hammer.
We're discarding our black cubes every round. I think we should hold on to those until the end of the game.
Sure. So, in the physical version, I do have like a VP tracker board that you move around.
Right, but that's no better than the counter here. The counter here is perfectly fine, but I feel like I would rather not use the counter or a tracker. I would rather just look at the pile.
Accumulate cubes.
Yeah, it's one less fiddly thing. I just pile of cubes. It's impossible to do it wrong because I put them in there as I earn them. And
that's a good point.
Presumably, there's victory point conditions later in the game, but right now it's pretty unambiguous.
Yeah, no, good call. Good call. I like that.
I also like that. All right. Oh, are we picking? This is our new card?
I don't know.
Did we get? Okay. Nope. Okay, we don't have a new plant, so I'm gonna flip over a plant card because I am ready to
Very excited.
play.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I'm.
Ooh, hell yeah!
Soybeans.
Red boy.
I think you're on round 4, right? So you flip the 4th one.
Yep. So we need 3 victory points, 3 red, and 6 green. I'm gonna let you handle that, Trevor, and then I'm gonna flip over a new Kung Fu card. Does it say anything about it hating stuff? Discard first non-green. So that was a non-green, and then I'm gonna flip this one. So it's gonna be also non-green, but we're keeping this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it Lane's turn first this round, or is it my turn first? It is my turn first this round.
All you, Dale.
All right, so I am going to figure out what I'm gonna do.
I picked a card.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, despite having a lot of cool stuff, I'm still taking a bruising here.
Okay, take it back. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. Flip. Rotate. Okay.
All right, Dale, you can go ahead and reveal your card.
Okay, flip. I got the exact same thing, so nothing happens. Yay.
All right, I got 1 hit, or 2 hits and 1 loss.
Nice.
So I'm going to take 2 victory points.
Yeah, hit and a loss here, so I will badoom, and yep, that seems pretty good.
Okay. Mark, draw back up to 4 cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will flip the next Kung Fu card. It is a non-green card, so I'm going to flip the second one. It looks like that.
I am very excited for my card.
Okay, and I am going to pick...
Yeah, all right, I picked mine.
I'll pick this one. Okay, I picked mine.
And I'm first. I'll reveal. I got another 2 hits and 1 loss.
Not bad.
I'm going to take 2 of these valuable reds.
Okay.
And lose
Great.
hit points.
3 papers, and you might say, Lane, that's a mediocre play, but ties with paper score 1 hit. Oh my gosh. Let's
Ooh,
go.
the big hit.
Let's go.
Nice. Okay, and I picked this, which is just a rock against a rock and a paper and a loss. So I get 1, and then I lose 1 hit. Okay. Moving the king over to Lane.
Love it. All right, Red, let's go. And oh wait, oops, I grabbed a plant. I'm dumb. Okay. Okay, so it is
it's a green card.
A green card. Cool. All
and
right.
Green card.
two rocks. That's a toughie.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So happy to see that. It hits on ties. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay. Well, fine.
All right, I picked mine.
Neat. I hate how you can't zoom out while you have a card selected. You can just rotate it.
Yeah.
Oh, oops. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I'm all hands, so I will take 1 damage, and then I will scoop up 2 of these little fellas.
Okay.
Oops.
And I am hands and rock. So I take this thing because it's the last one, and then I take a damage.
You take. Yeah, you take a damage. No, you take.
Okay.
You take 3 damage. No.
Why?
Hold up. You got 2 victories. Oh, but there's only 1 left. And ties with rock get you 2 damage, so you get. Oh, that's the one you got. Okay, never mind.
Ties with rock just is 1 damage. So in this case, they did it right.
Okay,
so
and Mark, reveal your nothing card.
Yep. It would have been, I think, just 1 hit and maybe 2 losses.
We got 8 cards here, so this is the Compost and Grow phase. So I scored the last hit. Mark, you get to take the first Compost Grow card.
Okay. And we need to reveal another one, or did we already reveal?
We did not.
Not yet. I did this. This is the 4th round currently, so there are 4 showing.
Okay, so we don't do that until then.
Okay. Just quickly drop back to 4. Okay. What would be interesting? I guess they all sort of would. I don't know how much of each type I have in my hand, but I'm just going to grab one.
All right. Admire the confidence. What am I trying to replace here? Oh, scissors. Okay. And this guy has. I need some rocks on the bottom, as they say. There we go. I'll take this.
Okay. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to discard this one.
So you can discard one from your hand, discard, or draw a pile, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's another case where I feel like that's a little too much to put on a player without accidentally mixing things up.
I think it will be easier in a physical game.
I don't know about that.
Because 3 piles.
Right, but let's say I look through my draw pile and I'm like, okay, that one I could get rid of that one, so I'll think about that, and then I set that pile down, like the discard pile, and I look through that one separately, and I'm like, okay, is any of these a better candidate for discarding than the one I thought? Like, it just is a lot to keep in your head if you do want to keep those separate, you know?
I think that it's easier to physically distance each pile.
That's irrelevant. I'm saying you have to look at 3 different piles of things and pick which of all of them are. It's just, you know what I mean? It just seems kind of complicated.
Okay. All right, Lane, did you draw your card? or your compost your card.
I beg your pardon. Is it actually my turn right now?
I was thinking it was because Mark went already.
Mark has a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot.
All right. I
Okay.
didn't do my second one yet. So am I the one holding this up?
Yes,
yeah, I think it's your turn.
Okay, my bad. I'm having a hard time knowing which of these is better than any others because there's still 4 unrevealed things. So
for sure,
I don't know if there is a strategic move unless I'm doing like card counting in my head.
Yeah, that is tough. Yeah. Like if you feel like you want to like balance your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky too because a lot of these every card is a sort of a remix of a very few variables, and
totally.
There's no. I mean, I'm not, like, there's no reason for me to build a strong scissors deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's sort of what I'm yearning for. That's definitely something I want to bring up after this. Just something that like will make you change your decisions from game to game.
Okay.
It's actually kind of leads into my thinking about discards. It's like I basically I want to discard my beginning cards that only have 2 on them, but I have 1 in my hand, so I'm just going to discard that rather than even bother looking through my discard or draw piles for a better candidate to discard. I just don't. I could very well be wrong, but instinctually, I just don't believe that will do me any good to look at those other cards. It's quite likely I'm wrong, but it's how it feels anyway.
Well, it feels like it's a decision that is both hard to make and also has very marginal benefit. And so therefore, I feel like you kind of want to remove those when possible from your games because it's unpleasant to have something that you really should be doing, but that you kind of don't want to because it's so marginal.
Yeah. Is it shop time?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's shop time.
Buying stuff.
I did tea, and that's all.
I only have red. They were so rare, but now they don't do me any good. But I don't feel at all like I feel that's entirely my fault. You know what I mean? Like that's good about that, I think.
You can also hold those reds till the next round. There's plenty of other red customers in here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think because I've been buying victory points whenever I can, basically. So I'm always resource poor. It's kind of the strategy I've picked. And I'm like, well, I only have 4 hit points. I probably should.
Yeah.
But I only have reds to spend it with. So it's like it's a trouble of my own making, and I like that about it. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel that grumpy about it because I'm like, this is totally my fault.
Well, and the other thing, Mark, that I think is really interesting is here you are, a nice, juicy, 4-ish VPs ahead of us.
Well, let me add
the other
two.
thing is, do you mind? Yeah, do you mind if I rifle through your cards quick, Mark?
Go ahead.
You still have a couple of these cards that are unupgraded. Now, when we move over to these delicious 4-hit cards, you are going to be able to replace these 2s with 4s. Those are double upgrades. Like me, I have fully decked out my deck with all these 3s, so I've been able to do better in these rounds. But I'm behind on victory points, and you'll be able to catch up in deck strength quick. And I think that's a really cool thing about this game.
Oh, it's interesting. So, but there is a potential risk for me, I think, in that that I have these weak cards, and I haven't been hurt that bad by keeping a lot of them around. But I might hit a steep hill where I get a lot of damage before I'm able to take advantage of it.
Because these plants are gonna really hurt.
Yes.
So I think one of the big challenges about designing this game is figuring out what is the right amount of punishment for dying. Because right now I feel like if I were to die, whatever, like 1 VP for 5 health. But like maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm only doing a strategy to not lose my hit points purely out of tradition. Like, I don't know if strategically it's a better option. You know what I mean? Like, should I kept my 2 reds because they're more valuable to hold them, even at the almost certain risk of losing my hit points? That may be true, but I'm motivated just generally to always stay above 0, even if in this game it might not always be the smartest play.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think I need this Shattering Root Nunchaku. That is such a cool name. Let's go. Are we replacing right now from the junior Kung Fu deck or from the senior Kung Fu deck? Okay.
Yep. So this is the last round of like the first half of the game, basically.
I see.
And I think in fiction I was going to do like spring and summer or something like that.
Beautiful.
That's cool.
Oh, by the way, now is probably a good time for us to shift over to doing the talkie talk because our next guy is on deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do the talkie talk.
I would love for you all to do the talkie talk. I've already got a plethora of notes, but I'm very curious what your overall thoughts about the game are.
Wonderful. Yeah, Dale, you want to start?
Okay, sure. I liked it. What I didn't like, I think, has to do with Tabletop Simulator. I really liked the ability for me. I would always flip my cards to the direction that the cards were, so it was easier to match up, but it was difficult for me to make that connection for Lane's cards because his are directly upside down. Lane, did you have any trouble with that, kind of from a visual standpoint of not mixing up the upper and lower?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. I think that in a 3-player game, hypothetically, just orienting the enemy so that, like for example, if I had chosen to sat here, it would have been easier overall because we can all sort of like crane our necks so that where our cards are the same way. It's only really a problem for 4-player games.
Yeah, and as the person who's aligned with those, it didn't cross my mind for even a second. So it does seem
good.
Well, no, I mean it's kind of proof that it's really consequential where you sit.
True.
Yeah, I think that the symbols are great, but like having a little bit extra on them might be fun. So I'm thinking of like something underneath the rock that's, like it says POW and is that star POW thing.
Right.
And then something like split on this behind the scissors that like is like snip or something, and then for paper I guess you just put a bureaucracy. I don't know.
I mean I suspect that you're not going to have rock and paper and scissors in the final theming, and then there'll be some 3 other icons that have a rock paper scissors relationship.
I'm torn on that. I do tend towards keeping rock paper scissors, but definitely adding a much more kung fu like visuals to it. Just simply for the fact of most everyone knows rock paper scissors, and it's not a thought of which one beats which one. Whereas if you had my own sort of symbols or words, then now people have to learn, what is the triangle.
No, that's true.
Unless you can replace it with something really intuitive.
Right, that would be the other thing.
Yeah, you can have fictionalized elements that are very obvious when you put together which one would beat the other. And I don't think it's too much of a burden to ask players to learn a new 3 things. That said, it is definitely easier to keep a rock, paper, scissors, but it's an enormous cost to your theming. Because your theming is kung fu, but also gardening. And so you kind of have a twist on a sort of a cliche, which is interesting. But then the mechanics are very focused on this entirely other thing. And you kind of, like if it was just kung fu, rock, paper, scissors, you know what I mean? Then I think that would be the twist on the theme. But because you have a twist on the theme, then having it all based on rock, paper, scissors is just one step too many. I think it seems unrelated. In a prototype scenario, it's not that relevant because we're just playing for mechanics here. But I think
So I have a thought on what you could retheme it as. Okay, rock stays rock because obviously there are rocks in a garden, right? Paper becomes leaf because it's thin and like that. And then scissors becomes like thorn.
Or shears. I don't know.
Yeah,
that'd be the only man-made object, but...
Or like shovel, I guess, because it would be shovel for the farmer and then thorns for the plant.
Yeah, it's tough to make it unique, but also essentially clue everybody in as to what you're basing it on. That's tough.
No, that's. Honestly, even just that is good feedback. It means that I need to just spend some more time working through that.
You can go with the Street Fighter of attack, block, and throw as your rock, paper, scissors to be loosely tied into fighting.
Yeah,
that's what I started with, and I did confuse everyone that played it.
Yep, I buy it because Street Fighter insiders know, but not everybody else. Yep.
I mean, this is to taste essentially, but I would lean into the rock paper scissors of it all and get rid of the kung fu-ness. I know that's where you started. It was the sort of inspiration for making the game, but I kind of like the idea of just piles and piles of hands. You know what I mean? like it's just rock paper scissors warfare. It's just that's kind of funny. But then you can lean into that a lot. It just seems like the kung fu part of it is, and obviously there's no visuals or graphics. So, but I think beyond that, I'm not feeling a lot of martial arts, even in the fighting parts of it. You know what I mean?
The names are spectacular, though.
That is correct. That's true.
Now, rock paper scissors garden.
I mean, could be. I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It's hard it's hard to not just come up with a random idea and suggest it because it's not my place to decide what it should be. But I just think like there's it's just a couple of things that don't quite fit together. It seems. Or rather, two of them do, but not all three of them do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you change it, you can make a different game called Kung Fu Garden or Kung Fu Farmer in the future. What is this game called?
Kung Fu Farming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could save that for your next game. And every game you make from now on will be based on that, and then turn into something different.
Yeah,
that'll be my development cycle. I make Kung Fu Farming, and then I turn it into something else, and I do that forever.
Yeah,
perfect.
I mean, I think there's to bring it up. We haven't discussed it yet, but Kung Fu as a theme, has a problematic history as well. So that would be one reason to step back from it. If you have something that really, really makes it work, then it's worth holding on to make it work. But I feel like it feels a little too superficial at the moment. Like it doesn't, I think board games have that problem where the theme doesn't really tie in the mechanics that much. But I feel like the gardening and the food, like all of that really does feel like the mechanics of the gardening part feels really good with the mechanics. It does seem to line up pretty well. Whereas the Kung Fu just kind of feels a little bit too superficial in a way that it could be troublesome, if you're catching my meaning.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. But generally my feedback is, as I was sort of saying before, that and I do think this is independent of Tabletop Simulator, there's a lot of moving parts to this game and that I don't know a lot of. I feel like you could really simplify them without actually making the game any simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, just like the next art pass is going to add a huge amount. Like I feel like this is going to feel so much better when Trevor takes an eye to making the cards more readable.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the biggest, and that's unfortunate because that always takes a lot of time, as you well know, Mark, from your laying out. It's no trivial thing. You want to make sure your design is good before you invest in that, but it makes such a big difference. I mean, one of the big hedonic losses that I had in this game is just rotating stuff in my hand around a lot to match up here on the table. I was kind of wondering if the layout was something a bit more, if you'll forgive me, like a Magic card where it has the fists up on the top in a row like this, and then the card text on the bottom, this special ability on the bottom, that would probably be a little bit easier to mentally rotate, as is the fact that this and this both seem to visually, graphically match up in my head, makes it more confusing.
I do have a solution to that, which is instead of 4 quadrants, you'd have 4 nested circles. One at the a circle at the center, a loop on the outside. Do you know what I mean? So that no matter what orientation you put it at, it will line up, right? So the outside, and you can even thematically make that in terms of this is my outer defense. This is my.
It goes in. It really works.
Yeah, and so your cards, your card, you match the outer ring and the middle ring and other middle ring and center ring. I mean, there's actually an argument to make only 3 instead of 4. It's quite likely there are 4 because that you
Indeed.
laid them out
Indeed.
visually that way. It might not.
Mm.
You know, I would examine that and to see why there needs to be 4 or a max of 4 attacks rather.
Yes. Yeah, totally agree.
Mhm.
All right. Other stuff on my mind is I think that the readability numero uno is that the hands these hand guys, they look a little bit too similar, like some sort of color in the background or something. And additionally, like over 50% of these shapes are the same from this to this. Like there's just like a couple of fingers different.
Yeah.
So
I would say, Lane,
like,
that's a case where I know that particular thing did flub me at least twice, but I
Yep.
feel like I am 100% forgiving it because of the prototype
Oh.
nature. I feel like any solution will solve it. So I don't
Now-
know that I didn't have a problem with it even when it did trip me up. I was like, nope, this is fine. It will 100% be fixed. There's no way it could not be fixed.
Oh, sure. I bring it up more in the spirit of like this is why the game felt like it wasn't like 100%.
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah.
it is actually better than it feels because the game hasn't had that art pass. It hasn't had the like touch on the hands. But yeah, as for design concerns, which I really should get into, as other people brought up, removing from the deck is something that is classically problematic. From a design perspective, simply because it involves a lot of searching and shuffling. Now, you don't have a ton of cards here, so that's more or less fine. What I'm wondering is there a good reason why players at the end of a fight don't combine their hand, deck, and discard pile into one editable blob that they can then once they finish their growing and their shopping phase, they then like recollect their hand and shuffle and draw 4. There may be a good reason why you don't do that.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it has to do with the tea or the rice, whichever does that. But I think getting rid of that isn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Trevor?
Yeah, the reason that it was done that way is because people felt that it wasn't really a deck builder then, because you didn't have this decision point of like, when do I need to incorporate my new cards into my deck, since it always happened every round. And people liked that interesting choice.
It's funny you say that because I feel entirely the opposite. Like,
Interesting. Okay.
I think it's well known that I do not like deck building games, and I don't enjoy that mechanic. But it was very easy to not worry about that here because even though I was playing a T that's the refresh one, like every round, I was sort of doing it indiscriminately. Like I think that if the game forced me to look at my deck and think about it every round, then I would definitely engage with the building of it way more than I am right now.
Okay. No, that's good feedback.
And I do think that the balance issue of those first 2 rounds, whereas you're basically we all lost 1 hit point every turn in the first round, and in the second round we mostly also lost 1 hit point every round. And so if that's statistically mostly going to happen, then it seems like why are we not letting players shuffle some of those good cards into their draw pile earlier?
So I guess the only counterpoint to that is really just, is the decision of whether or not to shuffle interesting at all? And from at least watching, it was interesting to see that you did it every turn, and I don't think the other 2 really did it as often.
Yeah.
I personally, and this is not just because I like to disagree with Mark on every single thing that comes up, but life is what it is.
Yep.
I think that physically it like combining all the things eases things a lot. But I did have a few moments where I was like, okay, if I replace cards in my deck, if I trash cards in my deck, then I get to get a reshuffle and get at the good stuff faster, and that's what I want. But on the other hand, that means I need to pay for more teas. So that was kind of an interesting little trade-off. As it turns out, I think it would be worth it like 100% of the time to get teas, just because if you get those so many more resources by drawing the good cards. So I think it might be too easy of a decision right now, but I say that from having played one half of one game, so I really don't know.
Yeah, T is a new mechanic. Before you didn't have as easy a way to get cards shuffled.
Okay.
So maybe that's just a tuning thing, and I can play around and figure out, is it worth having that at all, and making it an interesting decision, or do I just scrap it and simplify the game in that regard?
Well, to me, the reason I did it every round is, and I may be making my calculation may be wrong. Like this may not be correct, but the way it felt to me was that I could buy a valuable card for 2 or 3 resources, or I could quote unquote buy the cards in my discard pile for 1 resource. In terms of, you know what I mean? And even if I were to buy a card from the shop, it goes into my discard pile, and who the hell knows when I'll ever see it. And so it just felt cheaper to get the cards that I got from beating monsters. It felt like it was just way more cost efficient to get those into my draw pile because I could get them in there faster, and I would have 2 of them every round, rather than spend any money at all in the shop for a card that I put in my discard, goes into my draw some time later, maybe another round or 2. Then I have the chance getting it, and it has to be at a time when I need it. It just seems way too uncertain to be appealing to me to do that. If I was shuffling my hand and my discard into my draw pile every round, then, like I said, I'd be engaging with the deck building, and I'd be more interested in getting interesting things in my discard pile rather than just many things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, totally. That's a very interesting, or that's a very good argument. So I'll need to take that and see what I can do with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and ultimately, I feel like even if I'm wrong about all that, just simplifying it for the player, I think, really makes it worth it.
Yeah, and I agree. I think overall there are some definite rough edges that need to get smoothed out to make the player's experience a little bit smoother.
We should go around and talk about like the mechanics that like super worked, because one of the things I really liked was I liked playing rock paper scissors in advance. Like that, it's a cool idea. And also looking at my hand, and it being only 4 cards, I think is also very good, because you're going to have an optimal choice usually, but you might have 2 equally optimal choices, and then you've got some decision to make there. And sometimes they're literally equal, and so it's a little choice paralysis, but it's not bad. I think that's fine. But also that you have the opportunity to like pick a card that's going to be better. Like a lot of times toward the last 2 rounds, I played basically weak cards because they wouldn't be as useful to me as the stronger cards that I drew. And that's like really satisfying to like find the perfect card for this specific scenario. Even if it's not the best card in my hand. I really thought that was very satisfying, even though it's a very simple mechanic. I think the only problem I had with it was that I didn't care at all what Dale or Lane was doing, and so I didn't have a lot of interaction with them. But that could be solved but it could be helped by playing in order rather than choosing all at once. But even that I don't think it would change the game a lot, but it might make you feel like you have more choices and more interesting choices to make. But the actual attacking, even though it was just play the card that works, it sounds kind of boring, but I really enjoyed it. Like I thought it made a lot of sense.
Dealing 3 damage in this game was more satisfying than dealing 3 damage in any other game I've ever played. It was great.
Yeah. And dealing no damage, like just surviving the round.
Yes,
because it also feels good. Like it's like, oh man, this card, I don't have a card that will help me. Well, let's see. I'll pick the card that will do me the least damage, or the least, literally damage, but like it'll harm me the least. Like I don't like, I could play this down and I don't get any hits, but it's such a good card. Maybe I'll save it and take the hit now with this not as good card for the situation. Contextualization is something that board games don't do enough of, where your play is wholly dependent on the context. And this mechanic does like an expert job of that.
And also speaking of contextualization, we were just like feeling like badasses crushing this plant, and then going to this plant, we were going to have like be humbled, and like the first round was going to be really hard, and then the last one we were going to crush. So I don't know. I think all that was really good, and of course this guy just looks super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against like 2 like you might want to try playtesting 2 level 1 monster plants, 2 level 2, and then 4. For the final boss, or 3 or 6, you know what I mean? Like Because even though we dragged our heels through this playthrough, I feel like you could probably shorten this game by a third, and you wouldn't like. I don't know how detailed late game strategy gets, but I'm guessing that this game could drag even if you're playing it pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I'm toying around with the idea of shortening it to 6 rounds instead of 8 rounds. Just having it be 3 and 3. Because typically by this 4th one you are pretty strong. And so like the kind of the last plant that you fight isn't really doing a whole lot anyway, other than giving one person a bunch of resources. So
agreed. Yeah, I felt like these last 2 plants were both the same difficulty in that they were pretty trivial. And yeah, I would love to see that shortened, because my biggest concern overall at the moment is, and I totally agree with what Mark said about like the parts that feel really good to play. My biggest concern overall is just I sort of imagine that like, is my like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 20th game, are they all gonna kind of feel the same? Like my concern at the moment is that like these abilities are pretty cool, but as Mark was said earlier on, there's not a lot that make me think that like, I want to play differently. There's not like cards that I saw that were like this deals better based on how many greens are in your discard pile or things like that. And I just think like it wouldn't take a lot, but a few effects that sort of like encourage you to build around certain strategies could make like one game feel more different from the next. And I'm sure that you're thinking about similar things along the lines of like with plant abilities to make the game feel more different.
Yep.
I was going to say something. Oh, it was this. Thematically, if you want to do 3 rounds, you could do spring, summer, fall, and then in winter you get to reshuffle your deck for free.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, right now I kind of have it thematically as like you would all rest up, you get to reshuffle your deck and everything before you fight the ultimate Kung Fruit, so I think that would fit well.
Yeah, I really like that build up where you're playing the game and then you're going to play the end game. Like that's, having not gotten that far in this round, like I like that a lot. I like that anticipation. Even if it's like, I think I might have even was complaining about it at the time, like that, like even as one of those cards is revealed each round, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of new information. But still, it still felt interesting to like get closer to the end game, and the mechanics would change in an interesting way. I mean, also maybe it's part of the first time playing a game. Like as you learn the game, you start to feel like more confident in how it works. And so that confidence is sort of the same as like the hero's journey. So it kind of made sense that the game would sort of end like you've played the game, now use your knowledge to knock off the final boss. So independent of each of its pieces, which I might have had some gripes about, like structurally, like the architecture of a match. The game could be shorter, but I like the idea of like early, middle, last, right? The easy enemies, tougher enemies, big boss. Like that's really cool.
All right. Well, Trevor, feel free to stick around if you would like. We are going to move into our next game, which is a platformer from LDJM 48. Any last questions for us, Trevor, or anything before we move on?
No, I really appreciate you all playing the game and giving me a bunch of feedback. I am really looking forward to working on this some more, and maybe I will see you all again for another playtest in the future.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yep, thanks.
All right. So coming up next is Gabriel, Bluish Green Pro? Yes, Bluish Green Pro. Now, Mark, we have a secret demo with some new stuff, but it is a WebGL build. We prefer to run .exes. Is that correct?
Yes. Would you recommend we try to make it the web build work?
Well, let's. I'll go ahead and make sure that Gabriel knows that it's time to stop in here in the event stage. But he can answer that for himself. Let's see.
So I just heard your question about like desktop build versus WebGL. The WebGL version should run just fine. What is the preference for the exe other than
It's much easier to handle for our remote play. That's
see.
the main reason.
I suppose I could just pass you the link, Mark, and you could play it first. I don't know, Gabriel. How much benefit do we get from playing the secret demo versus the other build?
The main thing is that the secret demo is the one that I need the feedback on because it has the changes to the character control, it has the tweaks to the level design. So that is the one I'm looking to get feedback on.
All right. Well, let's see if we can make it work.
Okay, Mark, I will pass that to you, and then I will also DM you the super secret code.
Which I could always change after this. You can drop it in the event green room if that's easier.
Oh, okay. I'll drop it everywhere. There we go. All right. Cool. All right. So the backstory, like this is a game that you've been working on. Actually no. What is your story? So we like did this jam together. I mean, we weren't on the same team, but we both did the deeper and deeper jam, LD Jam 48, if I remember. So what was your story with that, and then how has your game development gone since then?
Yeah, so this is actually a game I've been working on for a very long time, and the LD 48 jam was a good opportunity for me to just really focus on level design. I made that very clear on the jam page that it was like, hey, what you're about to play is not something that I made in the span of this 48 hours. This is just a level design exercise, and is giving an objective to this like engine that I've been building effectively within GameMaker for a number of years at this point. So what you're actually playing here, though, is Worlds Within Worlds, which is another game built with the same engine. Like the Ludum Dare theme kind of made me build one large level, which isn't. I don't think it's present in what you're playing right now. But Worlds Within Worlds is taking the same like character and level design style and like hazards and all that, and putting it into the context of a sort of more traditional Mario fixed number of worlds, 5 levels per world, and then you'll just sort of see the objectives that each level has in store.
Oh, that is so cool. Okay, just a dumb question. I'm just kind of like wondering as I'm watching this, with those teleporters, I guess I'm just sort of like along for the ride. I started playing this game a while back, but never finished it. And I'm wondering, it's just like, how do those teleporters work? Is there always just like one place to fall down from?
So the way the teleporters work is, for sake of clarity, there's only ever one exit portal on the screen at a time.
Sweet.
But there can be multiple entrance portals.
Rad.
There's no reason, and in fact earlier levels had it so that there were multiple in and out portals on the same screen, but that was something I had to realize that, well, that makes sense to me as the designer, it's not going to make sense to other people as the players. So although the game totally supports it, it is limited in that capacity, so people don't get confused.
Oh, by the way, like Mark just cruising past the puzzle that took me a while to get. Very nice. Of course, I tried to do it without the butterfly, and that is challenging.
Yes, it is meant to be challenging because it is meant to force you to at least understand how the butterfly works. But
yes,
the message in the game should also be very clear that you never need the butterfly to proceed.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful. Like, I mean, luckily for me, when I was playing, you were there for me to explain that it was actually possible, because I was about to give up. Ooh, I love this level select, by the way.
Yeah, it's something that, again, is so much of this game is going to be inspired by Mario in one way or another. Mm-hmm. And in particular, what you're seeing here is the fact that you play in the overworlds themselves.
Yeah, it's got a very sort of a braid inspired thing to it, which of course was also inspired by Mario. So, oh, this is really cool.
All right.
I also like how just with like a little palette swap and a couple of actors in each little zone, it feels so different from zone to zone.
Yeah, I'm glad that because each level in the game has a unique palette, and then each world has a unique background music track.
Mark, if you get hit, does it do like both a low return and a screen wipe?
I don't know about it. No, not a screen wipe.
Not a screen wipe. Okay.
Listening to that. I'm right here in whatever level this is. This jump is a little bit too precise. It's like it works, but it's one of those things that when you're making platformer games, you actually want to make the jumps 20% easier than you think.
Oh yes.
Because it's still going to feel as hard as you thought it was, but if a jump that you just have to make perfectly is something you really don't want to see that often. Especially if it's just a traversal, like a normal part of the traversal, rather than itself the challenging jump in that level, you know.
Oh, that dude had it in his pocket. Cool.
Yeah. So the jump you're talking about is the one that's over the fire in that level.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. I kept hitting the corner of it, and grabbing the side. And it felt like it was just because, like, I didn't feel like I was, like, oh, I just have to get this jump exactly right. It didn't seem like a part of the game where I should have needed to do that. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, so put another way is unless it is like intentionally part of the challenge. This is the sort of the philosophy of what Mark is saying. It should be clear to the user whether you can make that jump or not, and that jump was ambiguous on like the like number of blocks the character could jump.
Mm-hmm.
So the character can make a jump of a height of 3 blocks.
3. Okay.
And I'm surprised that you found that jump difficult at all. Like, no one's mentioned that of the 10 or so people who've tried the game so far.
Now this is a hair-splitting technical detail. Like Mark is getting at this on a philosophical level. He's not saying it was a difficult jump. What he's just saying is that like on a oh, I see what you gotta do here. He's just saying like philosophically, if you like you want it to be like clear that the player the player should be able to know that they can make that jump. Now, from your observation, it's not ambiguous. Like, obviously, there's nothing else to do there other than make that jump. But like, what he's saying is that like in some circumstances, you're going to run into like more complicated environments in which you'll have jumps like that that can cause problem. I don't know. Am I getting that right, Mark?
Yes. Sorry, I'm just.
Oh yeah. No, this is an interesting little environment.
Yeah, I didn't realize there were multiple exits, so I blew by that one too quickly.
Okay. The checkpoint system is sick. Okay, do you go to the tree now?
I don't know. I guess so.
That tree grew leaves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not super well communicated.
Well,
but the tree
at the same time there was. Yeah, maybe if it were like animate-y a little bit or something, just to like draw the eye a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was new. I actually thought it was. Oh, I just didn't notice that before. It's kind of what I thought.
Okay. Yeah, I like this. Oh, and I like how like since you got that teleport stuff, you're not punished too much for failing this jump. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of situations where that's what I'm using the teleporters for, is like a halfway checkpoint.
Oh, and now we've got 2 screens on this level. Interesting.
Oh, you hit the side of the thing, it messes you. I didn't expect that.
What do you think of that screen shake on that bounce, Mark? Personally, I love it, but I could imagine some people liking it less. Whew.
So I'll comment that first of all, you can't turn the screen shake off. That is a feature that is in the settings.
Cool.
But also, you mentioned that you didn't expect the side of these guys to hurt you.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because they're platforms. Like, I mean, they have eyes, I guess, so they're like, but it just didn't seem like they were. I had any reason to expect to be hurt by them.
Well, just like every other enemy in the game, their lower half is the hurt color for that level.
Well, that's the thing.
That's great.
It doesn't seem like an enemy to me. Is I guess my point.
Okay.
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know.
Nice.
You're hitting me with the hard questions here again. Like no other playtester has made these observations. Everyone's been like, "Yep, got it. Can't touch them from the bottom."
Well, I didn't touch it from the bottom. Actually, I hit it on the side.
Yeah, from the side, like 50%. Like you touch a Goomba from the side, you take damage. You touch a
no, of course.
From the bottom,
it just
take damage.
It doesn't look like an enemy to me. You know.
They definitely they're meant to serve the utility function of being able to bounce on them, but they're not a free bounce. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess because I can't kill them. You know.
Yeah.
So does it feel like more like if they were more visually representative as spikes? Would that communicate it better for you, Mark?
No. I like as soon as I get hit by it, I'm like, oh, okay, it kills me. But I just like why? Like why does it kill me? What's the reason for that?
Oh, like it makes this situation a lot more interesting. Like it makes it like climbing on these guys more challenging.
I don't know about I would argue that it's not interesting. It's just you know, because there's one challenge which is to because they're all moving, right? So the one challenge is to hit them at the right time to time all your jumps, and it feels like avoiding them like enemies is like one extra thing.
Yeah,
especially because no other enemy works that way.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to be a little bit of a tough one here. I suppose, Mark, one thing that might be where that might be coming from is that they are like a little bit on the flat side. They kind of look like they might be one-way platforms initially.
Yeah.
So every enemy in the game does actually play by the same rules. If they have the consistent coloration, which matches the terrain, it's safe to jump on them. The skulls that have the flaming tops to them, obviously they are 100% hazard color. Those kill you. But the goblins, which were the ones that you killed these guys here in the pink level, these are the only enemies that you can actually kill. So there is an internal consistency to the coloration of the enemies, what is safe to jump on, what is not, what dies, what doesn't.
Oh, okay. So Mark, you need to use that guy as a tool to jump up to the next level. Oh, maybe not.
No, shouldn't have.
Yeah, you can just screen wrap. Yep, I was behind. Yeah, I noticed and admired that like right away. It was communicated very clearly that these like flaming skull guys that you couldn't jump on them.
Yeah, fire's a pretty clear signifier.
Yes. Definitely. Did you make this the platforming engine for this game?
So this is built in Game Maker Studio. So anything else, like the platforming is just like in the sense that is my own code. Like it's not using Game Maker's default physics per se.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say the like jump animation and like controlled up and like faster down like that just seems like it feels really really good when I was playing it earlier.
Good.
So I see the tree to this next world is different from the tree from the last one. So it kind of, but I feel like there should be some. For a second, I'm like, which tree should I go to?
Oh, okay.
I feel like they should have some kind of labeling. Although you don't want to put a big exit sign on it. That's kind of tacky. But
yeah. I guess like so far, I guess the pattern is like go towards the bigger tree. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how big these trees are.
Now, this one is the largest, but it is one of those situations where an animation is something that I have considered, especially because it obviously does help draw the eye, but that also necessitates someone like completing levels in order. Like the last level in a given world will be on the same screen as the tree, but you can theoretically play them out of order.
Oh,
and then sort of miss the signifier.
Oh, are you able to, like, could Mark hypothetically go to the tree to the fourth world before completing the third world?
You can't right now. I was considering, like, do I let people play the levels out of order? But I don't know. Most people are very perfectionist when they play the game anyway, so it doesn't. As much as you can tackle the leaves in any order, and most levels you're doing it in a linear approach anyway. Sometimes people will like leave one leaf in a level and then come back to it and then grab it before moving on to the next level or moving on to the next world.
Mark, can you push those guys on the ground at all?
These little crawly dudes?
Yeah.
No. They stay where you hit them. Which that feels pretty intuitive to me. I did push against them at first.
I was curious,
but it makes a lot of sense that they don't.
Yeah. Because then it would raise the classic widget satchel question of what happens when you bring it over the edge.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, how much? If you don't mind the like spoilerific question, how many worlds do you have?
There are 5 worlds in the game, so you are like roughly halfway through the game at this point.
Interesting. Now here's a question for you. Like, do you I love those platforms. The like animation is so juicy. So I guess my question is this is an interesting puzzle here. Nice, Mark. Is there like challenge that you can opt into?
The challenge would be going incredibly fast. This whole game you can beat sub 9 minutes.
No way. Cool.
That's the time that I recorded myself. I've gotten sub 8 before, but it's very tricky. Every level is built so you can just go with zero hesitation. Like, when the level starts, when the screen wipe opens, you can just be holding to the right or holding left or jump or whatever, and your action you can just immediately clear. There's a straight path beginning to end. Some levels are even allow you to play them in like a slightly different way than you expect. Like you probably saw the challenge with like ferrying the goblin across those platforms and then realizing, oh, that's not necessary. I can just do a wall jump instead.
Do you have something like in the menu or something that would like suggest to people that they try to attack the game that way?
There is something in the menu. When you finish the game, it'll tell you your clear time, and that's kind of the extent to which I'm hinting at it. Like,
oh, this is sweet.
Yeah, doing the Wordle challenge.
Yep.
So there's a good example of a place where you have a difference in how you tackle it. Like, bouncing off of this guy is the intended way to solve it. But if you look to the extreme left of the screen, you can make the jump from there to land in that portal and then get the leaf that way.
Oh, sweet.
So you can just skip the enemy entirely and then end up on that higher platform, which lets you drop down and just do all this much faster. So there are these like secret ways of completing levels faster than you might have initially expected.
Gorgeous. One question about that last area, like that was so well put together. That's so cool. It makes me want to play with those mechanics more. What I was wondering is, do you? Oh, okay. Now that I see it here, it's a little bit more obvious. There was a little bit more color contrast, and maybe this is just because I'm watching it on YouTube. But in that first zone, I couldn't tell which was the in and which was the out. But now it's really clear based on the color contrast.
I guess it is not very high contrast in that particular palette. But there is that consistent particle effect of like the going in versus coming out.
It almost makes me wonder now. I obviously am like way less experienced in this engine than you are, but like what I was kind of wondering is like would it make sense if you're like introducing a new mechanic to make sure that you're doing it on a place that has high color contrast?
No, that's a good point. The color palette is something that, like, I'm not necessarily like a visual artist or designer by trade, so these colors looked good to me, and
Yeah,
I
you're
thought,
fooling
like,
me over here. This looks great.
You can also configure the color palette. You can go into the menu at any time and change the palette to be any of the ones that exist in the game. So if that is your preference, I try to include at least a couple of accessibility options that are in the menus.
Nice.
Not the least of which is to make sure that there is a colorblind palette that is accessible, because not like most of the color palettes in the game do have good contrast in terms of being accessible to all three types of color blindness, where I could make it work. But
because you're aiming for like some light and dark contrast in addition to the color contrast, I can tell.
Yes, exactly. But there's just a couple color palettes in the game that I know are not colorblind friendly, and in most cases I use those for the actual worlds, where you don't have to worry about like touching an enemy. You're not even looking out for leaves necessarily.
Man, this is so nuts to me that there's just 5 worlds, because I feel like this is so packed with different like creative ideas that like I'm like why are you making this end so soon? I guess that's a good feeling to have at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was my goal to make the game as novel as possible, and to like every world introduces 2 new mechanics, and you sort of have like the A introduction of each, and then the B raising the stakes on it, making it more difficult, and then the final level is like the integration of both of those concepts. That's the general pattern for each world. So it's I could definitely build like more levels that feature these same mechanics, and I certainly have ideas on how to do so, but for now it's a very like all killer no filler sort of.
Yeah. I guess like the natural to me, and of course I haven't seen your level 5, but I always love it when like at the end of a Nintendo game or something they'll have that one like Champions Road or whatever, where they start putting all the different ideas together. I'm curious if you'll do that in your stage 5 here.
It's not in this world yet, because I'm still considering the addition of new worlds.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Yeah, there'd have to be like another world added in.
So here is the spot where I sort of feel like Mark's earlier comment comes back a little bit, where like to my eye, it was a little ambiguous, that last jump, if Mark needed to do the like portal physics, and like how many times he needed to do it. Like I kind of felt like, couldn't you just jump on that last one? And so that's where that like jump ambiguity comes in. I don't know. I think that's the only spot so far in the game where I've really felt like it really mattered at all.
So what I'd say to that is there are like at least 3 different ways to clear that challenge. One of which is using building up portal momentum. One of which is a combination of using a wall jump, and one of them is just jumping from that middle platform. So
no way, you actually can't. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that you got it immediately. That is the intended way of doing it, is with just jumping off that middle platform. A lot of people end up doing a wall jump off of the highest platform to make it, and then the other path, like it is possible to use building up portal momentum to solve it as well.
I feel like it's tough while you're playing these to sort of like get I don't even know with like a platformer game. Maybe some people just have more expertise than others, but I feel like my like temptation would be to like have Mark play through some of these again and be like, this one feels like an 8 out of 10. This one feels like a 4 out of 10. How do you grade what you think is good and what you think is bad in terms of your designs?
That's an interesting question. I guess if it's too hard, like if there's a challenge that like that's interesting but it's actively frustrating to me, I take it out. I don't like, why would I want that? I like there to be a flow in every level. As I mentioned, it's important to me to have that like path where you just have a clear shot at like nonstop movement. The novelty of challenge is very important to me. Like there's a reason that I only use these elements in a certain number of levels. Like even the curl ups from the previous world are only used in 2 levels, and I introduced the goats on a pogo stick to supplement the design of that world because I just couldn't think of many situations that involved the car laps that felt interesting to me. So I said, okay, well, let's just introduce a completely new element that's only this one stage because, let's face it, there's not a lot that you can do with those goats either. Like them kind of showing up for that one level.
Yeah, they're sort of
the
just
entirety.
Oh, geez, this one seems a little frustrating.
Yeah, this one is I don't like this at all. Like it's not real. It's sort of punishing. It's too pixel perfect. Like, and again, hitting the sides of these things is too punishing.
I agree, especially since the sides are the platform color. Like this one feels like it's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little rough.
Like you should.
Well, again, it's the lower 50% of these.
You should never ever have to force a player to land on a single width spot that isn't.
I'm not.
That isn't a filler.
I'm not.
Well, that's how it feels.
I'm not forcing. I'm sorry. That's not the way that you're supposed to play this level, but.
I'm sorry. I'm playing it wrong, but.
I do think that.
I'm sorry. I'm only contesting the point that you're saying I'm forcing someone to land. I'm not forcing you to.
Right, but that's the. Okay, well then, how am I supposed to address it then?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've already gotten through it, so I can get over the top of it. But the ceiling is a little bit too low for that to be an obvious.
That's another way to do it. There's always multiple solutions to these, but the way that you're supposed to do it is to just run under both of them.
But there's fire on the floor.
Well,
can you just hop from the floor up?
Right, but the fire when you run. Here, let me go. Well, I have to get my way to that again, but.
Oh yeah.
I'll just press R to restart, and you'll respawn at the last checkpoint you touched.
It's not working.
R?
Not on the keyboard.
Are you playing with a controller?
I am playing with a controller. Yeah.
Press back on the controller.
Okay. All right. So. I'm not sure how far behind I am, but here, if I just run straight, I can get the fire. But then here's that single spot.
Oh, but you can jump straight from the ground all the way up.
Yeah, so you're not supposed to stop there. You're supposed to jump back onto the guy who's already fallen.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that by baiting him, and then I can get up to the next one. But it's not. The ceiling right there clips me frequently.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to do it that way.
It just seems really tight,
Yeah, if you do it this way, it's tight.
Right. So what I'm saying is I'm encouraged to do it in a way that requires this precision landing. And if I try the other way, then my head clips the platform above a little too frequently because the platforms they fall as soon as you land on them. But if you're riding one up, you don't have any indication of when it's going to fall again.
The eyes flash. They will fall again when they reach their original position.
Right, but I don't know where the original position is. It's and I'm bouncing on it, so I don't know if I can get a perfect land on it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yes. This challenge, to be fair, like it gives a lot of people trouble, but it's because they're all doing it the hard way. There's a very easy and consistent path of doing this.
And you're saying most people don't figure that out?
No, I'd say like maybe 1 in 5 people do.
Okay, is that the intention? Because that intention to be that challenging, in that? Because it's the challenge is it a puzzle or is it a like precision platforming? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I really like that challenge. I think it's one of the most satisfying things in the game when you get it right. So that's kind of why I'm inclined to keep it. not visually obvious to people, then there's the butterfly, right? Like this is the whole conceit of the game, is that if you're having trouble with something and you're not having fun with it, then just use the butterfly. But
so what does the butterfly do? It just makes things not lethal?
Yep. Or freezes them in place completely.
Okay. So because there's the part at the beginning that teaches you how to use it, but I don't know that I don't know like I haven't tried it since. And so I guess I need maybe a little more of a playground to do it, because I wouldn't have ever thought to use the butterfly there.
Because it just didn't come up between the tutorial all the way up to stage 4, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Victim of success, did too well. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's neat. It's tight. Holy smokes! Oh, so you kind of want to like break it and then jump onto the ledge in one smooth motion.
You have to hit it twice, and so there's it's a here 1 2. Oh
man, that's interesting. Yeah.
There is a triple. So I'm here in this little pit here. So I hit it once, I hit it set, and then I land, and then I jump again, and I get trapped again because I don't realize right away that I'm supposed to like it doesn't seem to stay destroyed for very long.
Oh man. Okay, so you're gonna like want to let it rebuild here, right? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's cool.
What I like about that is your instinct is to try to like jump in a really good way, but it's actually it's actually really easy. But you don't figure that out right away, and that's a good way of teaching you. It's like
speedrunning this section is going to be insane.
It is.
That is way cool design.
There is a perfect clear with those two skulls going back and forth that is absurd. You jump over both of them, you do a wall jump, you jump ahead of the front skull, and...
Oh, the stealth section, I want to see how Mark does this. Oh, ooh!
I took my hand off the controller for a minute, I had to plug in my hands.
Okay, I do that as well when the guard is right about to shoot me. Oh, man.
Alright.
Dude, I don't know.
Like the colors on this level.
So good.
Yeah, so you were saying the colors on this palette?
Yeah.
I call this the Seafoam palette.
Yes, I definitely like that.
Yeah, take that, smug art bros out there. Dev's art.
Also, I was going to say, this game looks incredibly hard, and I do not want to play it. But do we want to give a shout out to anybody in the audience who might want to jump on Parsec to play this? Or have Lane switch out eventually and see if he can get it?
Oh, we're so close. We're so close to the end here, though. Oh, what happens if those skull bros go through the... Oh, can they just, like, walk on empty air?
Yes, the skulls will just move through empty space. They don't fall. They don't have gravity.
Okay, that... Oh, that's right. That was explained earlier. Right.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm counting on you to remember, but like it'll just sort of like naturally come up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is like this is not a big complaint at all, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, right? That they like are bounded by those platforms. Like their patrol route is defined there as being on top of those platforms, but not a big complaint at all. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, I hope it's at least intuitive enough as to where if the platform defines the bounds of where they turn around.
Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's the best compromise available. This looks really sweet.
This right here in the beginning, this laser, it's if you move forward a hair, when you enter the level, you get hit. Yeah. I think that's a little punishing for no reason. Give me at least a length or two of it before clipping me. I think it's a little. It's kind of one of those joke, trolley kind of things. Is what it feels like.
Is it possible that like on a particularly long or short frame, the laser might hit a different spot than it hit on the last sweep?
I'm not sure. There are certainly situations where the laser's sweep is going over such a large area that it might miss the player.
Okay.
It's not like a guaranteed kill. Like it doesn't create a triangular volume between its previous frame and its current frame.
Oh, that was so slick. That was awesome. Oh. I love how I'm delayed enough that me complimenting Mark sounds sarcastic because he died probably as he was hearing me say that.
Yeah,
this really looks like an ending. Oh, fantastic. If Josh Anthony is listening, that's what your ending portal should look like. That looks sick. Oh, what do you even do? Oh, you play the super sneaky mode. There we go.
I keep wanting these platforms that I have to hit twice. I keep assuming that when I jump on them, and then I assume I'll bounce off of them and then land again for a second hit. I keep forgetting that I have to press the jump button a second time.
Interesting. Ooh, nice. Wow, that was smooth.
Yep, and again, like very intentional to have it possible to jump over, because only the beam hurts you, not the actual laser itself.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
I have this problem with a lot of games where when you hit a wall and you grab onto it by naturally, like you like stick to it, I get really, really anxious around edges because very frequently I'll stick to a wall and then I'm like screwed.
Okay.
I get really anxious.
Yeah, and you can actually you can turn that behavior off in the settings. Like it's on a sort of sticky behavior by default because that's makes it easy to perform the wall jumping for most players. But you can make it so it doesn't do that.
That's way cool. Oh, I think you're gonna have to go a different route. Yeah.
Yeah. This is just incredibly tight. I also don't like that I can't stand here. I guess I can.
Oh, can't you?
Oh, I was too close to the edge last time. I just misjudged it.
Yeah. The fact that like left laser rakes the right side real quick is so mean.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some real tight thing to this, but it's like a solving the puzzle first before you do it.
I mean, it sure looks like there's a long time where neither of them hit there. It's just the question is, can you get there at that time?
Right, and that's again you have to do the double jump too. So I need plenty of time.
Yeah.
And this is where you can also kind of rely on the what I mentioned before about how you can just go like from any checkpoint. The game is designed so you can just go. So zero hesitation, you can just go and make it.
So I sort of see what you're getting at.
And it's the same, by the way, if you transition from screens. Like you can either die or hit back on the controller to restart, or otherwise,
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
that's cool.
I mean, I love platformers, but like, I don't love the super precision. I think that was a little bit too tight. I know we're near the end of the game here.
As the final challenge.
Well, that was literally the final challenge of the game. So
let's go.
That used no word of a lie. That used to be one laser, and I added the second one because it's like, well, you know what? That's the hardest thing. And again, if you get the timing down, it's not a challenge at all. You just know exactly when to jump.
Now that he's beaten the game, does he have an option to display an in-game timer that's always on?
It's not something that I have in the game by default, but it's definitely something that people have requested, so I could certainly add that in.
I mean, like And I'm totally biased because I know that this was worked on during a game jam, and like the like easy game jam hack for better score on LD Jam is to just add a timer in the upper right. I definitely think that since so much of the game was designed with that in mind, it just feels like a natural way to get people to do it.
Yeah, I agree. A timer would be kind of cool. I don't even think well, I guess you don't want to necessarily annoy people who are having trouble getting through it the first time. But I wouldn't be against having a timer on screen first go around. But
I mean, I can add it in as a menu option that is off by default.
Yeah. But I maybe turn it on your second playthrough, but then obviously let people turn it off if they want to.
This whole game is like just the other big LD Jam hack is if for a higher score, just do a reduced color palette, and this game just nails that. This level in particular, I think, is just beautiful.
You also can switch between the worlds from the pause menu. You don't have to physically traverse them.
That's cool.
I'm just running around. Yeah.
Sure.
I guess we should explore all the options and stuff, because I know this game has a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, it's where you select the worlds. These are all the different palettes. So these palettes paint everything this color.
Yes.
And then how many are there?
I think like 35.
And then how do I get back to the default one?
There's literally one just called default.
Okay. I might make this something where you default or not default. You know what I mean? Like, single palette mode and then select. Just because there are so many of them. I mean, my first instinct is to say you don't need this many. Like, pick 4 that you like. But if you like them all and you like that there's a lot of them, if that's a thing that is you don't want to give that up, then I would suggest having a go back to default interactive at some. I don't know if you need a checkbox or a back button or something. You could. There's 80 ways to solve that, but.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately, this UI system is terrible and everything is hard-coded. So adding in any single option to this menu is a mess. And it kind of you'll notice that every menu has the exact same number of options. That's also hard baked in.
Yes.
So.
I like the background options. I feel like that gives people the ability to stream the game in their mood. Plum gamers for life over here.
That is exactly what I was thinking. That if someone actually did get into speedrunning this game and they had their identity this is my favorite color palette, I'm just gonna make the game like that the entire time. But first and foremost, it was an accessibility feature. It was the idea that yes, it's neat that the color palette changes every single level, but let's also have it so that you can change it if the color contrast is not good on a particular level.
All right, man. I gotta say, I feel like you've got so much cool stuff here. I would I know that I'm gonna be enjoying speed running through this game, or at least trying to for a little bit. But I'm just so tempted to see what just to ask what more you could do with some of these mechanics. There's no level that has thwomps and goats. Imagine the possibilities. But there's definitely some hits that you use in a lot of different places. But I guess that there's some natural expansions on just that championship road that brings together a bunch of different mechanics. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what you could do.
Yeah, I feel like
I have. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say just the pacing of the game is such that it's a pretty good session to get through it in the 35 minutes or whatever. But you could make it 10 times as long. And I don't think people would get tired of it. You know what I mean? Because it's such the levels are bite-sized and it's not too short now, but it also wouldn't be too long if you made it vastly longer. You know what I'm saying? It's suitable to whatever however long you want to make it. I would say.
That's great to hear.
Some games that's just absolutely not true of. There's a perfect length for it, and you know when they didn't get it. But here I feel like you really could. you could put twice as many, like 10 times as many levels, and it would still feel, partly because of like how, like navigating between levels is. I mean, I can play them out of order. I think I might have played 1 or 2 out of order as I was going through, but that invites a sort of like buffet approach to it. Like, here are all the levels. Play a couple or play them all.
Absolutely.
I think that's
or go
really
back
cool.
to a level that you enjoyed. Like that's the reason that leaves are still visible in their outlines after you've collected them. Like if you want to erase your save data and start from scratch, you can, or you can just literally warp to any world, jump to any level, and replay it because hey, I like that level. That level's fun to me.
Mm-hmm. I think the overworld could use a little bit more signposting, like with the trees. And when you go over a level, it says hold down to enter. I don't know that you probably don't want to clutter things up, so this is not hard and fast. But I might want to see signage for 1.2, 1.3, just there. Partly because
I was literally thinking that as you said it. Like the number is always visible, and then the hold down to enter message just appears when you get close to it.
Yeah, and also when you're in a level, you have the same symbol as the reverse of the door, right? And so there actually was a point where I'd gotten through a level and I was back in the overworld, and just because I was playing it quick enough, I didn't realize I was in the overworld. I thought I was in a level, and so I just walked through that stage, and for thinking those were all checkpoints, not other levels.
Right.
I mean, it's just a momentary like brain lapse, right? Because of course you go to the overworld every time you finish a level, but I just forgot, and it was like, oh, dummy, So just
having the numbers
slightly more
different checkpoints would visually signify them as different.
Yeah, slightly more differentiation between the overworld and the levels. I mean, you don't have to. It really doesn't require a lot.
Oh, does this tutorialize the like restarting mechanic? Just the fact that dude dies.
It's just a faster way to get through it. Like as you saw the very first time you were actually playing through the game, you can go to the left and then jump up on those platforms and get up there. Mm-hmm. Or you can just hit back to restart, and then that ghost is in a perfect spot to bounce off of them as a quick way to level 4.
Oh, way cool.
Lane, did you want to give it a try before we wrap up for the night?
Oh, 100%. So what should I do, Mark? Should I play it on my side and then restream it through Discord? Is that going to be easiest for you?
Let's see if we can do Parsec and if the browser connection will work. I'm optimistic. Well, we'll see.
Okay, I love playing platformers through Parsec. Let's go.
I think a minor lag is a good test of a platformer. Especially if you're seasoned. Here, let me unplug my controller.
Yep, and let me. Are you suggesting that I play this with a controller?
I mean, unless you're good at platformers with a keyboard, but I don't know a single person who is.
That's a big old nope. We can try this out. Okay. Get set up. All right. Should be good to go. Okay.
So you can toggle through the menu until you see the option to erase save data, and that'll restart it completely from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
if this is all behaving.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see about that one. Ooh, can I move now? No, I cannot. All right. I will try.
You were able to. Is your controller not working?
It is entirely possible that it is not. Let's see. I do have keyboard control, so I'll try that. Okay. Ooh. Game. Hold on. We gotta go.
These menu categories. There's 4 of them, but you only see 3 at the top. That's a little. It's sort of.
It's a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a minute to figure it out. Yep. Pick a.
Rape gamers. Let's go. All right. Cool. All right. I guess I'll start on level 2. Just get my feel. Oh, I hold down. Okay. Time to see how hard these guys really are. Nope. Oh wait. Oh, I can still collect the dead leaves. Okay, so this is like Mario 64. Oh wait, I can just do this. I'm learning. That's great. All right, hold down to exit. How long do you have to hold down? Can I hold down on the go? No, not quite. I have to actually think about it.
Yeah, moving at all is canceling your downward input.
Ooh.
If you did want to get a start from the very beginning of the game, you can erase the save data, and that will start you from the very beginning. But
sure, we can do that. We can do that. Let's go. Save data erase. Sounds good. Wait. How do I? Oh wait, confirm erase. There we go. Oh, nice.
Again, this is me working within the very limited menu system that I had set up for myself, but I wanted there to be some confirmation.
Excuse me, how do I start?
Oh,
you have to click. You have to mouse click.
Actually have to click with the mouse.
I have to mouse click. Ouch. Ooh.
That's
not friendly.
It's that's an HTML5 limitation. Like if you don't click on the iframe, then the audio won't play.
Oh, for real. Okay, that is clever then. Do I need to request keyboard? Oh, wait, I have my D-pad now works. Okay. Okay, hold jump to jump higher. Okay, look at this. We're even tutorialized how high you could jump. Fantastic. There's it is okay. It is. Am I wrong? Am I wrong that I could easily just be completely wrong about this? But is it actually normal for characters to be able to jump 3 blocks and then 1 pixel? I feel like normally the clearance is just a teeny bit higher than that.
Yeah, I think that's
not that you should change your jump at this point. Holy crap, that would be a bad idea. But I'm just wondering, is that normal?
Your jump height in this game is 3.5 units.
3.5? Am I just not holding down long enough? Okay. Time to fact check the guest. Always a good move. Always a good move. Really?
You can see when you jump to a position where there's a 4 block, you are jumping to a position that is your head is touching the top of that 4th block. So you're maybe it's closer to 3.2 or 3.3 or something. But
that's all I'm saying.
There's definitely a clearance.
Okay. Nice.
Essentially, this momentum. Just want to get this out of the way before we move further, but the momentum mechanic is pretty interesting, but we don't see a lot of it in the game proper.
No, it exists as a mechanic, and you don't have to rely on it too much because I don't think a lot of people enjoy the situation of having to. Oh, look at Lane going for the fancy clear.
First try too.
So here, this very last screen that you probably just cleared, but
hold on.
Time is meaningless.
I was able to do something. Oh no, I was just confused. Never mind. I was just kind of slid up the wall. Okay.
No, what you just did was a new feature in the game.
Oh really?
Where I am looking at the fact that you are really close to the ground, and I'm saying you probably didn't mean to do a wall jump right now. Let me just kick you upward.
Oh, so I can actually go a little bit further if I do that?
You actually can't because I am compensating for the maximum possible height of your jump.
Okay. Okay, so I just actually got a sneaky wall jump off the right. There we go. I just didn't register it. In my brain. All right, cool. Nice. Woo! Dang.
Now, if you want to see how the game played with original Ludum Dare 48 controls, you can go to the pause menu and change the wall cling to slide.
Oh, hell yeah. That sounds good. All right. No, we don't want controls. We want, here we go. Slide. Oh, slow. No. Egad, I'm just messing up my menuing. Wall cling. Slow slide. There we go. Holy crap, that's hard. Woo! That is funny as hell.
Yeah, this
can't quite do that.
Absolutely friction against the walls.
Jeez.
You just fall at the same speed the character normally falls.
That is hilarious.
And this is how I built the entire game. This to me, that just feels normal.
Yeah.
But obviously, for most people, that is not preferred. It was entirely based on feedback for the Ludum Dare 48 that I added in the initial stick when the character hits the wall, and then also the sort of friction slowdown as they slide against it.
If only I could actually jump 3.5 units.
Yeah, see, that I had the same thing where it just felt like that's a little bit too punishing in that space.
At least you can hold on the wall. Wait
that
a second.
enemy is there to be a jerk, and the other thing, is that if you go forward with good momentum, then you bounce off the second enemy, and that gives you more than enough height to get up on that third platform with the third enemy.
This guy is the reward color.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Now, that feels like, man, yeah, wow, all killer, no filler indeed, because, like, holy crap, that feels like a mechanic that could be reused, but it is not in the whole game, right?
Right.
Jeez. This guy.
Putting
in something new for every stage.
It is built in as a feature so that if you got through that entire stage thinking, oh, this is a game where you can't jump on enemies, that last one clues you, well, hang on, that guy's the color of the leaves. How do I get the third leaf in this level? I guess I have to jump on it.
The slide is so funny.
We don't actually see that type of enemy very frequently after that, do we?
The goblins, no. It's most of the times I'm reusing the skulls because they're obviously like the invincible thing that hurts you if you touch them. So
right. So actually, teaching players to jump on enemies at that specific point in the game, maybe that's a little bit misleading, because most enemies after that they can't jump on.
Wait. Well, no, that's not true. Only the skulls are the enemies you can't jump on. You can jump on every other enemy in the game.
No, I mean jump on to kill them. That's what I mean.
Yes, it's just I had to. I was working with a very particular set of constraints. Just like I want people to know that you can jump on enemies in general. Mm-hmm. The goblins happen to die from that, and then the skulls are an immediate contrast to that, saying, actually, look at these guys. You can't jump on these ones. But then it's important to know that you can. Like when you see the jellies in the very next world, that like those are safe to jump on their tops, and that's also hinted at via the level design. That like they're very low, you're very likely to bounce on them. And they're the only way to get across the gap.
Oh, okay, I can just do the cool thing. Whoop.
Yeah, because your collision volume is actually not as wide, and same with the enemies. Like neither your collision volume nor the enemy's collision volume is as wide as you would originally expect.
Holy crap! You designed this with the slide? Ah!
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is okay. That's actually super fun, super satisfying. Now that I've done it, let me save my progress. Thank you. Good lord. I didn't realize I feel like this is super obvious now, but like in this stage here, like over here, the reason why I was like messing around for so long is it took me a while to realize that just like how much acceleration there is in the jumping. It feels super crisp. It doesn't feel like it takes a long time to get going, but like it really makes a difference if you get speed built up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tree. Oh,
yeah,
hold on. Dumb question. But if, like, okay, so this is the tree that I am allegedly growing over here. If I go and I get, like, a single leaf, what happens? Can I go back and watch my beautiful tree grow?
If you go over to the tree with an insufficient number of leaves, you'll see a counter above it that says X out of required number of leaves.
Oh, okay. Oh, and so, wait a second. There are a total of 30 that I could collect, and this requires 30. So you're not like letting me like complete some and come back later. I have to do everything.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is as much a conscious decision as it is the way everyone plays the game anyway.
Right. Because it's not like your challenges are so like maddeningly difficult. It's more like sort of opt-in speed difficulty.
Mm-hmm. The original set of 24 levels that was this game that have never seen the light of day. Or rather, there've only been internal playtests that have seen those original batch of levels. There was illusory terrain. The number of leaves in each level was random, and you didn't know how many there were. The indicator of like the checkpoint also serving as the indicator for how many leaves you collected didn't tell you. And the game was at odds with its mechanics. You didn't like it's fun to explore and find secrets, But what really killed it is the fact that the illusory terrain doesn't work in HTML5. The way that I was rendering the canvas just would not work. So I was like, okay, well, let's ditch that. And kind of everything that I've seen in games since then has just convinced me that illusory terrain is just a terrible mechanic that no one should ever use. Because you cannot get around the fact that it incentivizes players to just mush themselves up against every single wall.
Yup. So true. Urgh.
No matter how satisfying it is to find a secret in a game, those secrets need to be hidden in plain sight. They need to be jumps you didn't expect you could make. Otherwise, it's just mushing yourself against every single wall and jumping unlimited number of times to try and find secrets in the ceiling or whatever.
Oh, my poor tree. Why can't you subtly grow leaf by leaf as I unlock you? Ugh. My immersion!
I would love to do that.
Art, please.
Yeah, come on. Oh, no! He's clearly good at it. Oh, I'm sorry.
The only thing is, if I did actually do it incrementally, then it would be hard to tell when it's fully grown.
Unless it had an animation. Yes, do more art for me.
More art.
Ugh.
Yeah, you would have to, do that, and then as you go up to it, it would tell you
how
many
gosh.
leaves you have left.
Gremlin, do you have to be like? Oh, come on!
This game looks so hard.
Oh,
well, this is
easy.
the thing that I'll say, it is made with the butterfly in mind that will neutralize any challenge. I want this to be a game that anyone can complete, even if they are using the butterfly to neutralize every single challenge in the game. But it's the kind of game that a kid could probably get their head around the platforming controls if a parent is judiciously moving the butterfly around and neutralizing the challenges around them. Woo. I want this to be the kind of game that, and literally the butterfly will map to a second controller, or by default, the kid can be playing on the keyboard and the parent can be operating the mouse. So it's always got that second player experience.
Oh, you scumbag! Okay. Wait, Mark, you did? Oh, jeez!
Wait, what did I do?
You got this on the first try, made it look so easy. Jeez, holy smokes!
Yeah, there's a couple of these where I just went for it, because
oh yeah. Whoa! Okay.
Yeah, you basically like that.
Right. The philosophy. Yeah. Uh-oh. Maybe not like that. Maybe I need to do a small bounce first. Whoop.
And you've absolutely got it. When you said that there's a couple of these that I just went for, and yeah, that is the way that you're going to succeed. Is that the game is, provided you know when to jump and what to bounce off of, and in this case, you can skip the first guy entirely and just jump straight for the wide guy at the end. Oh, you've moved past it now, but anyway. Yeah, you have to make a jump right from the edge of the platform, and that's where the momentum mechanic is used. Getting the fast speeds in this game is where the mechanic, the momentum is really used.
All right, I want everybody in the audience to note this crouch animation is the most satisfying thing. I can just be like the Buddha meditating under this tree for 30 minutes and still be entertained by it. I like how bouncy it is too. All right. Oh
yeah,
I psyched myself out. There we go.
It's only 2 frames, and the rest is just animated squash and stretch.
Wait, what? Oh, wow. Oop. Okay, now I'm interacting with the thing I've been looking forward to this whole time. These little ghost platforms here.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I never got a real good sense of how long they lasted, but I also never felt punished by them lasting not long enough. You know what I mean? It never irritated me to not know, because there was always enough time,
Yeah, and that's also the result of several iterations. That they used to have a smaller time window, but I've increased it a couple times, and the way that you can know how long they're going to last is by watching their blinking.
Okay.
Because they'll blink once and then wait, and then they'll blink just before they're about to disappear.
Oh, and now I see what the intended way is. Okay, I'm dumb. You can just do that. Okay. You don't have to like do
I would
the
argue-
crazy wiggle. There we go.
I would argue for a slightly more obvious tell for when they're going to go away, just because you're not going to be looking directly at them most of the time.
Oh, interesting.
Like a flash or I don't think it would fit the style to have it be real bombastic, but or like crazy attention getting. But
they do last as physical entities until they've fully faded away.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have that option of like the last second Hail Mary, like, oh, I just barely managed to jump off it as he was disappearing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's less about that than about having the confidence to know. You know what I mean? Like, even if you do have a little more time than you think you do, if you don't get the tell, then you never engage with trying. You know what I mean? With trying to wait to the last second.
Oh, I need to do the thing? Okay. And is there ever a time where the exact timing on those super matters? I haven't seen it. So.
It really depends on how you approach some of the challenges. There are some challenges, like in the level, not the one that's coming up in level 3, 4. So not the one that you're doing right. No, sorry. It is this one. It is this one,
isn't it? Yeah.
That challenge in the top middle with the 3 platforms can be done with just one of those, and it relies on utilizing or like you can beat that challenge in the middle with 1, 2, or all 3 of those platforms. And again, the butterfly works to freeze these things, so if you ever feel like it's not enough time, then you can just give yourself the extra time increment as you need it. Getting this goblin to walk across them, yeah, like there isn't ever a time where I require you to use the full length of them, because that would defeat the point of there being a buffer.
Is it possible for me to get up there while the gremlin is still up there? Probably not.
It is.
Oh, I can do like an infinite bouncy castle on him?
Yes.
The dream. The dream! Come
it's
on!
Obscenely hard.
Yeah,
but you can.
I don't know if I have the skills. Probably not. Okay.
Well, there's one of 2 ways to do it. You can land on the goblin as he's falling, which is, as I said, obscenely hard to like time that.
Yeah.
Or you can just use the butterfly, which is the very easy way.
Oh, yes. Okay, and then that, which is just fun. Cool. Oh, my boys. Hold on. This calls for a better color palette here.
And the fun thing I'll point out about the butterfly as well is that not only does it make it so that not only does it make it so that nothing will kill you, it also makes it so that like an enemy, like no matter where you touch it, like if you hit a jelly from underneath while it's been frozen by the butterfly, you will just jump through it. So it really makes it like not just frozen, but like actually does not harm you at all.
Ooh,
and the color changes to signify that.
When you're watching people play, how many people use the butterfly overall?
It really depends. Sometimes people like I've seen some people who just like use the butterfly preemptively on every challenge. Very rarely. Most people, I would say, and this is very like based on a sort of like a selection bias of who I've shown the game to.
Right.
Most people will just play the entire game without it at all. Some people use the butterfly on just like 1 or 2 things that are really bugging them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it's for. It's like if you're having a hard time, then you just need to clear this one thing. I want to see the rest of the game. Use the butterfly. It's there for exactly that reason. But it still feels like more of an active thing than just going into a menu, turning on invincibility, and then beating the thing and then turning invincibility off. Like I really dislike the way that Celeste did its accessibility implementation. I think it feels off to a lot of people because you're like activating cheats, like you're going into a menu and changing stuff. Whereas with the butterfly being a sort of like activated, like a thing that you move around the screen and you click and you do stuff with it, it feels like it's actually a part of like a mechanic of the game, even though effectively they are the same. Like they're accomplishing the same functions. And it's not a knock against Celeste. Like obviously it's so many people made use of those accessibility options. I'm so glad that they're there. It just didn't, like when I was playing Celeste and I couldn't clear something, I just gave up and stopped playing the game. I didn't feel motivated to switch and start using the accessibility. It's like, well, I'm not getting the intended experience anymore, and the intended experience is too hard, and I don't just want a watered down version of the intended experience. The intended experience has too few checkpoints, which is another thing that is kind of directly addressed in this game. Like, you'll notice the checkpoints are very generously spaced.
Oh, definitely. Mario question for you. Is it like, I know that in the original, that like if you're going down at all and you collide with the side of enemies, it favors you.
It counts. It thinks, because in the original.
Oh yeah, go ahead, please.
No, it's not true in this game. In this game, it is doing an actual evaluation of your position relative to the enemy.
Gotcha.
If you're touching the upper half of its collision volume. I think that I speculate that the reason it's done in the original Mario that it's just doing a check if you have downward velocities, because that's a less expensive check than doing are you on the upper half of this enemy's hitbox.
Makes sense. And you have made the evaluation that's not actually a better way to do it. Like, it's generous to the player, but that's not always a good thing.
It's more that there are situations where you're.
I've seen situations in Mario Bros. Where it just looks wrong that the player didn't die there, and so that would be my understanding of like why not to do that. Oop.
I think that's sort of what I'm leaning towards in this case as well. Like you've got a pretty generous collision volume on the player already. Obviously, like these skull guys notwithstanding, like touching the side of them, but like it would be. I don't know what I would do if just like have the player slide off the side of them, like the red specifically curls up along the edges, and I could make that even more apparent. But it's just to remind you, like, no, if you touch red at all, it kills you, and if it doesn't, same thing. If you touch the upper half of the side, then it's fine. But if you touch the lower half of the side, that kills you. But it does read as though like the player has just hit the side of the thing, and then they're like, oh, why did I die from the side? It's like, well, you touched the lower half of the side, and just like any other enemy, that would kill you.
And these guys have to be fairly flat. They couldn't be like totally womp dimensions, because it would be ambiguous of like if you could wall cling on them, right?
Yeah, that's. I'm not trying to, like, because in Mario you can wall bounce off the sides of Marios. Well, in the Mario games that support wall clinging, yes.
Yes. So true. Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, I don't need to play through this whole thing. I have a ball with this game. This is such nice controls. I'm definitely ready to wrap up here. How about you, Mark and Dale?
Yeah, I think we're past closing time, but we always get that way when we get excited about what we're up to. So.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for playing through the game. Not once, but like 1.6 times. It's especially like I mentioned it a lot of times, but like Mark, you were bringing up very important criticism of the game that I hadn't heard from other playtesters. I don't know if that's just people not thinking as critically about it or not approaching it in the same mindset that you did. But it's
I think
the
problem with other playtesters is that they when a game is good, it's so easy to forgive everything about it, and that's the case here. Like, and so people just won't say anything because, on balance, they don't have a problem with it, And so we have to be a little bit more, a little crueler, I think.
Of course.
And
I'm sorry. I know I was getting defensive. I know I was being like, but have you considered that I actually did think of that and did it this way? Like,
well, here's
here. This jump. Okay, you want to go?
Man.
You want to go?
Doing this with the slide is so much harder.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. Okay, let me walk you through this because it's gonna bother me.
Yeah.
You go under both, jump back to the first one, bounce off its head, then bounce off the head of the second one.
Oh my. Okay, let's take a
Well, I
little
mean,
look.
like, so again, like you've managed it there, but the sort of like intended easier way is to go past both, but as the second one is falling down, you jump back to the first one.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment, seeing if I have a short hop. I don't, so I'm
If you switch the jump controls over to dual, then you do.
Okay.
Or you can just let go of the button prematurely and you get a short hop from that.
Like I am like literally flicking it. I'm not pressing. I'm like shotgunning it with my finger.
Mark changed the controls to dual.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Wait, when did I do that?
Okay.
So if you press the X button on the controller, then you'll get a short hop.
Oh, okay. That would I actually want to try that out here. Jump.
I didn't realize you were playing the entire game with dual jump controls.
I don't know that. What is dual jump controls? I don't understand that.
So dual jump controls means that if you even tap the button,
so much easier.
You jump at your full height.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think I was playing that way.
No, you weren't, but you changed it at the very end when you were messing around with the settings.
Oh, okay, sure.
Devious, Mark. Let's make Lane look like an idiot.
Well, I'll say, Lane, it's actually, if you want to, there's an easier way to do this, which is instead of going under both, just go under the first one and turn around. Like, just bait it. Just bait it.
I mean, the way that Lane's done it the last several times is the right way to do it. And then you just carry your momentum through. You don't have to bounce off the top of all the other ones. You just run underneath all of them.
Oh, do you? Okay. Oops. Oh.
So yeah, just like once you bounce off. Yeah, that's the hard way to do it, but.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, no, sorry. The very last thing you just did is the right way, but you can do that all in one fluid go. Like you can bounce. Let's number these guys. So we got 1 and there's 2. So you go underneath both, jump back onto 1, bounce off him, bounce off 2, run all the way. Yeah, you did it. I'm describing it as it's live.
Look at that! Oh no!
Like that's the way. That is the fast way, and that's why I say like, oh, it's real satisfying when you get it, because like all these things are like slamming down behind you. And
one thing you can do is because up to this point, that is never going under has never been a successful strategy with those guys, and so not that you would never think to do it, but up to now the game has not taught you that that's the better way. And in that level, it gives you just enough hints to that it's perfectly fine to go on top of them. So I might make that section harder by making making it basically impossible or next to impossible to do it that way, because then people will come around to the run under them a lot faster, I think. And they might.
I don't want to forbid the possibility of people playing it that way, though. Like I don't want to, unless there's a very specific lesson that I'm trying to impart.
Well, that's what I mean. Is essentially a lesson you're trying to impart, right?
Well, the correct like running underneath them is a thing that you've done in the very first level that you encountered them.
Okay, I will say that as a player, I will try to do something that's very, very hard or impossible in a game because I just assume that I'm bad at it. So sometimes it is really helpful to have something that says, stop trying this. You're not going to get there. And I realize in this case, you could get there, but so maybe this is a situation where you want to guide the player to the quote-unquote right solution more, because everybody gets so frustrated with the other solution.
Yeah, and as you were saying before, like you were describing it as really satisfying when you do complete it, and that wasn't really my experience of it, but it varies. I think what Dale's hinting at is like, there's a lot of sections in the game where there are like 3 right ways to do it. But you've described it repeatedly as the right way, so I wouldn't be afraid of like forcing the player to down that path. Because
I hate when games do that. It is so antithetical to the way that I approach design. I don't want to force players to do anything ever. Like, even if it's not the quote unquote right way, it's just like, if you found it as a way that is successful, I don't want to say like, nah, I'm a designer, you're not allowed, too bad.
I think you're thinking of it. I don't think that's the right way of thinking about it. And as you lecturing or demanding, you do signpost all the time, independent of that. And it seems like, in the way you described it to us as the right way to do it, yes. You've not described any other multiple options things that way. You've very consciously said that's one way to do it. But because you've described that as the right way, it seems like you've already made that decision, and you're not following through on telling the player that. So that your options are, and I'm just being prescriptive now, so it's overreacting, but you can either guide them toward the right way or make the alternate way also right by making that a little bit easier.
Yeah, I guess what I can do is I can make sure that the right way is always going to be the fastest way, but not make the other means of doing it as hard as players are encountering right now. Because in my mind, there is a right way to do every single challenge in the game, and the right way is the fast way, and the right way is the fluid way. But I also I've never gone back in and changed something where I see like, oh, a player circumvented a challenge in my game, better change that. Like, because anytime I play a puzzle game or something like that, and it feels like the level's been aggressively designed to stop me from doing it any other way than the designer intended, that is incredibly frustrating to me. But yeah, so I think that is absolutely a compromise that I can make, is just making the other paths easier, because it's not going to make the other paths faster. It's just going to make it possible and more friendly, whereas most people do experience that as a unwelcome difficulty spike, shall we say, in the game.
All right. Are you ready for me to take you out?
Whoa, what does that mean?
That means... Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching our Twin Cities playtest. We're back again next month. It probably is the exact same day, because February is 28 days, so we'll see you on March 16th. In the meantime, what we think we know is that there's some kind of electrochemical communication between the roots of these trees, like synapses between neurons. Each tree has 10 to the 4th connections to the trees around it, and there are 10 to the 12th trees on Pandora.